Mic checks echo, I'm the sound of the brawl. Canvas creaks, flesh slaps, bodies rise and fall. Steel cage dreams, no escape. All pain, blood stains mixed with the sweat and the chain. Adrenaline surging my veins, spit fire. Crowd chants feeding my soul's desire. Turnbuckles tremble when my wrath collides. Glory's the belt and I'm taking the pride. The squared circle where legends collide. No mercy, just a wild ride. Lights flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom, the squared circle digest. Pyros ignite, shadows dance in the glow. Ringside roar, it's a gladiator show. Chokeholds tighter than the grip of the night. Climbing the ropes to new championship heights. The mental battlefield, no room for doubt. Every move calculated, every scream a shout. The bell tolls louder than a sinner's regret. This is the place where the bold never forget. The squared circle where legends collide. No mercy, just a wild ride. Lights flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom, the squared circle digest. The squared circle where legends collide. No mercy, just a wild ride. Lights flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom, the squared circle digest. Circle Digest!
It is the Squared Circle Digest. I'm Sean Stanley. That is the great Frankie Fresco. And we're here to talk the crazy world of pro wrestling. Appreciate everybody that's watching us on X or on the YouTube channels, the Stanley House Media Network or the Frankie Fresco YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe, jump over to the other channel, hit the subscribe, notifications. Dolphin season underway, and we're happy. Oscar, how we doing, sir? Yes, Saturday surprise for everybody. That is courtesy of the great me, because I could not go on Wednesday or Thursday.
I thought we were talking NASCAR today. No,
yeah, we did that earlier. Spencer did that earlier. Frankie jumping in with the Josh Balicki talk. My goodness, man, when you want to talk NASCAR, Frankie can go with the best of us. Josh Balicki.
Surprise pick.
All over the place. That was great.
You know, I tune into NASCAR here and there. I'm not going to lie. I started watching more. I've been watching NASCAR because of you guys. So I started tuning in. That way I could have more of a conversation and know some of these drivers.
I mean, yeah, you're whipping out Josh Balicki. I didn't know. I forgot he was on the race car today. I forgot he was driving today. I'm like, he's not even driving. Oh, yeah, he is there. He is the last car. Is that a Dolphin shirt? That's got to be a Dolphin.
Yeah, right? It is, man. It is.
That's a nice one, man.
Yeah, and actually in the back it says Fresco.
Nice. Oh,
so
jersey action? Sure.
Yeah, I did this, and then I'm gonna give a shout out to my friend. Well, first I want to give a shout out to everybody who wished me a happy birthday last weekend. It was my birthday, so I was getting a little bit older each and every single day, and had a good time with the family, had a good time with friends, and my brother, great. You know, my brother always is fun to hang out with, and my mom and my dad. And then shout out to my boy DJ Memo, man. Like, he surprised me. He got me custom made Miami Dolphins jersey that says Fresco on the back. So very, very surprised about that. I had no idea he was gonna do that, but he looked out. And that was really nice of him. I did not expect that. I told him, why you spend so much money? Because he literally, when you get a custom jersey, that's like $200. But he's a good friend. So I had gotten him something for his birthday, but not that expensive. But man, I was like, all right, so I gotta one up him next year. So, but he's good people. So shout out to my boy. And then what about you, Sean? How's I know you've been working like a savage. So
yeah, no, just the overnight stuff, getting used to it, and now I have graduated my role now. I'm actually a service specialist. I'm no longer a trainee. So now I am in the wild world of the yuck right now. So
I thought you were gonna say the wild world of sports entertainment. Oh, sorry.
No. I gave that up many moons ago. The dreams of getting to the squared circle, the big squared circle there. Let's talk about dreams that may get spoiled here. because there was a report, I believe, and I want to say it was on the Wrestling Observer. I believe it was Meltzer.
No, your best friend.
If not, I'm giving the wrong person credit, so I apologize. But at least I'm giving somebody credit because it was not my article. I know Frankie said he saw it as well, so I know it wasn't a dream or anything like that. So I know now two people have confirmed that they've seen a report. And it goes along the lines of basically TKO, WWE, however you want to look at it, is doing a lot of things to try to harm the standing of AEW as the number 2 alternative to try and basically hurt the leverage of the talent, because then there'll be no place to go to make the money that they make at WWE, at TKO. Now, again, you're saying, oh, well, people go to TNA and this and that. A lot of people go to TNA because they can work TNA, still work the indies, and they can set their price. And some don't. Some have already made their money and are just now using, the basically the signings, the meet and greets, and all that. Like the Hardys. The Hardys don't have to get another big contract. They're set their own prices. They're doing meet and greets. They're getting enough money that they, there's other people that can do that can make a living. And again, they're not by no means, and there's some wrestlers that have not been to WWE or AEW making a good run on the indies and doing the meet and greets as well. And then again, you suffice a little bit of money from TNA and you're good there. But the gist of the story was that they are running counter programming to try and hurt them, i.e. All In coming up for AEW. And they decide to run a AAA card with NXT the same day, basically 2 cards back to back. I believe one starting at 2 and one starting at 6 or something like that, to counteract the All In broadcast that will be that day. Frankie Fresco, I want to ask you your thoughts on it, and then I will interrupt you as I always do, and then say sorry as I always do. I've known. I go back and watch. I know as I always interrupt you and be like, I apologize, but I'm going to do it again and again and again. So I apologize now in advance, double times.
Now we're good.
But your thoughts on it, because I mean, it if you look at everything and the way everything's playing out, it definitely looks that way.
It does, and supposedly I'm looking at online. It's called Ola de Calor and NXT Heatwave, so it's kind of like it matches up. But it does say time and location Sunday, August the 30th, and it says 10 a.m. So I guess they're starting at 10 a.m. But I'm not too sure.
Remember, All In is, I believe, at 2.
Yes,
because it's in Wembley.
So I guess they want to get the upper hand. Whoa, so sir, this NXT Ola de Calor AAA is at the great city of Edinburgh in Texas.
Yeah.
I have no idea where the hell that is, but I mean,
beautiful Edinburgh. I mean, downtown area. You've never seen something so majestic.
Oh, okay. Well, but I mean, look, man, I don't think this would have happened with the old WWE regime. Even though we might, I don't know if we're going to talk about that. Maybe possibility we might talk about that. We were going to talk about that like last week or something. We kind of like talked about somebody maybe working behind the scenes. But the previous regime, in my opinion, would not have done that unless they felt threatened, unless they felt that they were losing the fans and losing everybody. And obviously, that counter programming that happened between WCW and WWE at the time, and WCW was getting the majority of fans. And that's why Vince wanted to go ahead and kind of take them down. But this is definitely a TKO move, because we know how TKO it works. We know that they're only about money, and it's not even about them gaining more fans. It's literally what you just said. It's a way to stop the wrestlers from actually making more money, which is shady as hell, because they've done this before. They did this with the UFC. They've bought out other companies before, and it's just disappointing and sad. And the more, if I keep hearing stuff like this, Sean, I don't know about you, but if I was working for WWE, I would I would probably start considering saying, "Hey, look, you know what? I'll let my contract run out. I'll do what I can as best as I can, and I know I'll make tons of money here in WWE, but I don't want to work for a company like who's doing these shady things because I don't know what to expect. Like, how can I work for a company that they have no integrity? Like, that's messed up. If they really are doing this, which I feel they are, putting counter programming on the same night as an AEW show, just to spike them, just to try to take some of their fans or try to lower their viewership or whatnot, or people buying their premium live event, the pay per view. It's grimy. It's dirty, man. It's like it's kind of like if and shout out to Tony and Adrian on. It's like if you and me decided to go on at the same time that they started going on.
Like today, they start at 1.
But we only did we're at least starting. Well, that's true.
It's only for today. I apologize, Adrian and Tony. And I wanted to go earlier, but a hamburguesa got in the way.
Hold on, Sean. Hold on. I was hungry. I saw you talking talking NASCAR from 11 to noon. I was like, oh, they're probably gonna talk more about NASCAR. So I even text message. I said, hey, if you want to go longer, just let me know. I get you. And then I saw the show ended like
after. I saw your text after. I'm like, oh, oops.
I saw like 10 minutes later. I'm like, oh my god, these guys' show is over. And I'm like,
our preview is 20 to 30 minutes of the Richmond race the morning of, and usually it's on Sunday because the race is on Sunday. But tonight the Richmond race is Saturday night, so we had to make because we can't preview a race that already happened. And no matter how good our programming is, it doesn't work well.
So, I guess my argument sucks because I guess Sean went behind my back and is trying to do the same thing with Adrian and Tony. So I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. Never mind. Way to go, WWE. Go for it.
Our secrets, Frankie. Man, what are you doing, bro? We talked about this behind doors, and now here you are throwing it out there.
Jesus.
No, but here's the thing that I will say, and again, this is only this Saturday.
Sorry, guys.
The whole thing with the thing is you're counter programming them, yes. But you're throwing NXT and AAA, bro. I get it. You're doing it 20 miles from Mexico, so the crowd might be good there. But again, how many of those people that are going to be in that crowd are really going to probably order the AEW pay-per-view anyways?
Well, I don't know. Maybe the Mexico fans would have ordered some of the
but again,
ones.
If you're really trying to do this, Roman, like this is the card where the winner of that tournament should face Roman. If that's what you're doing. And again, I don't know. Maybe that's part of the thing because there is that tournament to where the winner versus Roman for a shot. If they add that to the card, then I will say, okay, now you're counter programming. Because the thing is, yes, you are, but you're not because you're putting your stuff nobody cares about out there. I mean, that's like.
Well, I think they're
yes,
testing
it's
the water.
grimy to do it at the same time, but if you really want to be grimy, then you do it like a SummerSlam at the same time as All In, and you make it mean something because that's going to make people have to decide, okay, what am I going to do? Because to me, All In versus NXT and AAA, that's not really I'm not even batting an eye. And I know me and you are a little different, and Tony and Adrian, the way we watch wrestling, and I know Tony and Adrian would go AAA and WWE regardless because they're homers, as you call them. But for me, like the one thing I know about AEW, I don't have to watch the shows every week, but their pay-per-views are going to deliver. They might be 7 hours long. They might be, 276 matches, but 270 of those matches are going to deliver.
Well, there's the strategy, Sean. If you start watching wrestling at 10 a.m., and then all of a sudden you're done watching wrestling, and then all of a sudden you're like, do I want to watch more wrestling? Because literally you're going to be a whole day watching wrestling. Like literally from 10 a.m. all the way to what? Maybe 8 o'clock at night? Yeah. So it's like, are you going to really sit around and watch all that wrestling? You must be a diehard wrestling fan. So you kind of have to pick and choose. And if you have people who maybe are in the WWE line of like they like WWE a lot, but they want to go and check out an AEW pay-per-view here and there, they might watch the NXT and AAA first, and then be like, you know what? Let me not watch the AEW.
But then all you're doing is sniping the casuals that normally probably wouldn't tune in AEW normally anyways.
And that's what you start with. That you
Yeah,
start
but I
you
think the
start like that.
AEW does enough damage to casuals on their own.
Eh, they've been
They've gotten
building.
better. It's gotten better. It's
They're
no,
building
I'm
up.
not. But again, if you watch their programming is tuned into people that are wrestling fans that have followed other. You followed other and you watched them come up into AEW, or you came from following them, i.e., the Young Bucks on being the elite and Kevin Knight through the Indies and like you're following them through their careers and then you come to AEW because they came. You don't just like most times if you're just a fan stumbling through the channels AEW you'll get lost a little bit.
True, but again, again, I think they're testing the waters. I think they want to see what happens here. I think they want to go ahead and because look, man, if you don't even try, then I get it. But
Yeah, but they've been doing this for 3 or 4 months now.
yes, but this
I
is
mean,
the first time I kind of hear
the one
somebody.
Sunday AEW did it. There was TNA, there was AAA, there was NXT and AEW pay per view all on the same day. That one Sunday, there was 4 shows.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Maybe they've gotten some, you know, some reaction from it. Maybe some of the fans have stopped watching AEW because of that. Maybe some of the fans are like, you know what? Let me tune in more to, let's say, the prior pay per view or the prior premium live event, just to knock them. Again, man, you don't got to do too much. Remember, AEW doesn't help themselves sometimes either. So, all you got to do is just plant the seed, right, and then once you start doing that, things will fall eventually. I mean, that's the way they did that a lot with Bellator back in the day. Now I don't know if TKO was still the owner, but I know that they did that with Bellator a lot
Yeah, no,
before.
that was the Fertitta brothers and Dana White on their own then. But again, Dana White's still there, so he understands and he knows this, and he's on the board of directors of TKO. So if Dana White, they understand. I mean, I get it. They say that he doesn't do a lot; he just kind of collects a check. But he's been through this, like you said, with that, and then all those other MMA things. But I just think wrestling's a whole different animal because there's so many. Look, MMA. If you get the top fighters, and all you're doing is sitting the scraps down to the other things, their fights aren't going to be that good. People are going to turn them off. Wrestling, there's people that are anti WWE throughout that will not go there because of whatever family time, whatever they we've seen, Will Ospreay said I didn't go to WWE because I wanted to be able to be flexible and spend time with my family and go back and forth to my to everything else. There's other reasons, and again, maybe they don't have the name because they haven't had the machine around them, but they make a name on their own in wrestling to where, it's almost like rock music, any kind of music. You start kind of in the club, the indies, you make a name for yourself, then a label sees you, they pay you money, then you start bringing the crowd. That's kind of the way pro wrestling works. And that's why I don't know that TKO understands from that aspect of it. Because to me, yes, it does work in a fighting, a boxing, because then you get the best and you leave, the bad to the others to fight for the best of the bad. You can hurt their divisions, you can't do that in wrestling because there's usually somebody that's going to go anti-machine and go and try to be the next thing, which is why you saw John Moxley leave WWE. Chris Jericho, I'm not done. You guys think I'm done. I'm not done. I'm going to go show you. You have those guys that, are always going to be there in pro wrestling. And
Well, I looked it
that's
up
where I
right.
think TKO is kind of undermining. And again, I don't know that you're going to be able to walk this line, as you said, because at some point somebody's going to be like, okay, so let me get this right. you're trying to do all of this to undermine paying me what I'm worth. Because if AEW disappears and the whole market is only WWE, that means their pie got bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going to look to make sure that you only pay me less. You know what I'm saying? Because again, that's what this is about. This is about the leverage of saying, well, okay, you're going to take $3 million a year. No, I'm not. I'm bringing in at least $20 million a year. No, you're going to take $3 million, or where are you going to go?
That is true.
Where are you going to go? Because you're not going to make that on the indies. You'll make good money on the indies. You'll make money to make a good living, but you're probably not going to make $3 million a year on the indies and doing, and maybe I'm wrong, and doing the cons and different things. Maybe I'm way off here, but I got to believe you're probably making maybe $1 million, depending on who you are. Like the Hardys are probably making good money, but I got to think $1 million would probably be the top.
Plus, not only that, I think if they want to make that money, they got to put in a little bit more effort than what they probably would have to do in WWE.
Well, I mean, you see the Hardys after every show; they're there till 2:00 in the morning, signing autographs until the last person in the building is out. So, I mean, yeah, you have to do a lot more than what you're doing now, you know. But again, where is that? Again, where's that line for some of those guys? And again, the funny part about it with TKO is where does it start? Where does it stop? Because
Well,
you can do that with the New Day. You can do that with some of these other guys. Are you gonna do that with Roman? Are you gonna do that with Punk? Are you gonna do it with Cody? Are you gonna do it with the guys that you need to put the asses in the seats? Like how? At what point does it go? Okay, you guys got nowhere to go. Well, guess what? You've been paying us good all these years. I've invested well. I've got the money. I'm out.
well, look.
You know what I'm saying? Like where's that button gonna be stopped or started?
Well, I looked it up online. So there has been a trend of WWE doing these foolishness.
Yes.
And you got AEW Forbidden Door back on June 28th. WWE scheduled an NXT Great American Bash for the same day. Then obviously you got All In, and I got confirmation now that AAA event is starting at noon and NXT Heatwave starts at 3. Which
And then
is
what time's All In? All In's at 2, right? Or is it 3?
I didn't look it up. If you can look it
I'll
up
do
for
that
me.
right now. I'm sorry.
And then I got AEW All Out on September 26th. Tony Khan has also pointed out that WWE and AAA events scheduled in the same Chicago area market as All Out. Khan recently described the current scheduling environment as having a predatory nature, while also saying he views the attention as a compliment.
Oh shoot!
So that's kind of
Wow,
grimy
bro!
that they
It
did that.
starts at 11:30 a.m. All In.
So they're starting pretty much at the same time.
They're starting at 11, right? You said. Or what time they start?
12.
Noon, right?
Yep. And then
But
I
you get 30 minutes of AEW before they kick in, and then if the show goes long, like 4 or 5 hours, NXT will be on still until probably 6.
yeah, so
Probably
that's
need 2 to 3 hours.
that's
so you're
slick.
looking at, they're going to go the whole length of what the pay-per-view would be.
The only thing that they're doing is that they're putting in two. They're putting AAA and NXT to justify the amount of hours that they're giving the fans. The other thing that I did look up, and it says that they have had some success, but the best case was back on July 12th of 2025 when WWE put NXT Great American Bash and Saturday night's main event around AEW's All In Texas. And despite that, All In drew roughly 22,000 fans and an estimated 175 to 185,000 pay-per-view buys. So it hasn't had the biggest success, but like I said, it's planting the seed. That way you could start, building a way to like hurt
And again,
them.
one of the things they did is they did this tournament for the shot at Roman. And I'm wondering when that tournament ends and if that match gets added to the AAA pay-per-view.
Now the thing is, or my question to you is, Sean, is if they keep doing this and they keep running this, and then let's say, for example, they decide to amp it up a little bit more and then start putting in maybe now a main event WWE show at the same time as an AEW show. Do you feel that at one point in time, WWE is gonna be able to knock out AEW and then monopolize the market, which is kind of like
I
what they're trying to
don't
do.
think so, just because now, again, times have changed, and this is where I think some companies don't understand. I don't have to watch the AEW pay per view today.
It's a good point. You could watch tomorrow.
I can watch tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you go, you spend all the money you want because you're still, yeah, you're not gonna make. I'm not gonna watch it live, but I'm gonna order it the next day. And that's where I think some of this, like, oh great, great, we're gonna get all this wrestling, and it's like okay, but I can just watch it tomorrow. Or what, what I'm saying. So I don't know that you're gonna ever. And again, I don't even know if you put the big shows on. Yes, you're gonna probably dramatically hinder them. But again,
Yeah.
okay, I'll watch SummerSlam live, and I'll watch AEW All In on Monday, and I won't watch Raw.
Or you could vice
Not-
versa, do the other thing too.
Yeah, but I mean, you're going to end up hurting yourself somewhere because if you're say WWE right now, Monday you got Raw, Tuesday you got NXT, Friday you got SmackDown, Wednesday's Dynamite, Thursday's TNA. Okay, if I don't watch the pay-per-view on Sunday and I watch it Monday, I'm not watching your Raw. But then I'll watch your Raw on Tuesday. And then I'll watch NXT on ESPN Unlimited on Wednesday. And then I'll catch Dynamite on Thursday. And it's just a ruthless. It's not like you're going to make anybody miss anything. That's the part that, like it used to be, if you didn't order it, yeah, then you had to, you didn't get it unless somebody came out on VHS tape. But that's ages ago, man. That's the problem is like a lot of times they don't understand the streaming, like the platforms. Like I can go the next day on HBO Max and order AEW pay-per-view if I really wanted to watch it. I'm going to watch it. I might not watch it live. Just like if I want to watch SummerSlam, I might not have watched it live, but I'll go back on Monday and watch it or something. It works both ways for the programming. That's why I don't understand why you think you can choke out the competition in this day and age. Now, again, if they're making a buttload of mistakes, WCW-esque, to where you're draining money, and again, I don't know how much money Tony Khan has to make on AEW. I can't think they're making a buttload of money. Maybe they're making enough that it's profitable, at times with the TV deals and all the other stuff that they're doing. Again, I'm just, shooting from the hip. Or maybe Tony Khan and Shad Khan are like, you know what? I need this loss to equate for some of the other business acquisitions that we're doing, i.e. the Jacksonville Jaguars, i.e. Fulham, i.e. whatever. And those losses are helping us in the tax game. So we'll keep it going.
Yeah,
It's a business decision. And with everything that's going on, you're not versing a media, like again, TNA got bought by before they sold again. It was a TV company that bought them. So they had their own TV time. And when you have that, when they're not making money, yes, they'll sell. Tony Khan isn't a media company. He's a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
There's other businesses involved in this, just like with TKO. I mean, TKO should use their model is exactly what I think Tony and Shad Khan are doing. You're using all the profits from WWE to offset your UFC, your pro bull riding, all your other antics that are losing money. The WWE profits are helping make that work out so that the company stays profitable. I believe the same thing like Tony and them are doing, which is why I don't think you're going to ever hinder any company anymore because they are seen as an alternative to people that don't like the machine that is WWE TKO. So it's always going to be there because anybody that wants to see something different goes there.
Yeah, and to kind of piggyback on TNA here, obviously Jeff Jarrett and Jerry Jarrett bought it in 2002. Dixie
They
Carter,
started with them, yep.
Dixie Carter and Panda Energy ran it from 2002 to 2017. And I think the one you're talking about is Anthem Sports
Anthem.
and
Yeah,
Entertainment,
Anthem Sports, yeah.
which is who owns it now. And then also you got also
They haven't sold it yet? I thought they
No.
sold it when Silva came in.
No, it still says
Okay.
that they
Okay.
purchased a majority stake in 2017 and completely rebranded it later to restoring the classic TNA name, but they
Yeah.
haven't resold it. The other
Okay.
thing you also got to realize is that TNA is still using some of the NXT talent on their
Yes.
roster as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So,
There's a partnership there,
yeah,
which again is not a great partnership for TNA, but again, it allows you to get people that are seen nationally, nationwide, over to your program, and I think they're doing a great job with some of the young guys. To be honest, I think they are a platform for WWE to steal from. That's what they are right now, and it looks like they're okay with that, with the partnership. That okay, you'll send back guys and gals in NXT to come back and be there to give us a name push, and what they're doing is they are becoming. You get the like when you're NXT, you evolve, then you go to NXT, then you go up to the roster. I feel like TNA is the step before evolve, or they see and go, okay, you're ready to go straight to NXT, Santana or Cruz, whatever he is now. I think Sosa's next, one of the guys. I heard that um, the guy Slater was not happy with TNA, but then all of a sudden he was happy. So I think he's ultimately going to be on his way to NXT or one of those two as well. So I think there's a small partnership there, more lopsided toward WWE, but again, because they have the money and Anthem is okay just making a little bit of money on the show. I thought they had sold, honestly, sold
yeah.
it off, but I mean, again, they're on like the network they're on, I believe, is part of Anthem as well. So like it's like what Turner had with WCW. I give you part of my TV time that probably doesn't do well, and whatever we get, and we rake in the sponsorship money, and we go from there.
All right, so let's let's kind of go a different route now here. First, let's talk about kind of what we're getting from WWE on their side. The programming, and obviously, we've had some crazy scenarios happen where we saw something on Monday night and we saw something yesterday, right? So Monday night we had all of a sudden Solo losing to Jey Uso, and obviously you saw the stipulation that they had. So I want to get your reaction to what you think. Is this gonna help or hurt Solo? Should they have kept him, or should they have allowed him to obviously what we're gonna see happen, join the Bloodline? That's number one. And then on the SmackDown roster, we saw Chelsea Green, where she got hurt. Obviously, we're noticing that Fatal Influence it's not a very good team that is actually hurting a lot of women wrestling. I'm saying that based on what we've noticed with some of the wrestlers they've gone up against. So I don't know if that's a big problem with them. But you saw that they kind of threw an angle with Chelsea Green. So what do you see Chelsea Green, her role? What do you think about it? And then obviously the situation with Solo.
The Solo thing, I'm hoping is a big rouge. I'm hoping he'll go there. They'll do the presentation, and they'll work some kind of angle out of it. I'm hoping. I'm hoping it's not just Solo. You fall in line.
Did you like it?
I did not. I didn't like the fact that he lost.
Yeah,
I thought you could have done something to where, again, you kind of had this thing with the LA Knight issue, and I know he's doing more stuff with Roman now, but like you could have done something to schmoz it or something to make it like where okay, nothing happened, and then you could keep it going. I feel like this is kind of now you're like you played your hand to where okay, here it is. Either you're gonna make Solo fall in line, and he becomes whatever it is, or somehow you rotate this and now you're going to start forcing Solo babyface down our throats. Whereas you could have played with it more like they were doing. I love this Solo. I love this. The whole thing, like, that's your warning shot. Pew! Like the stuff he does when that's your warning shot. Bang! He looks around the crowd. You okay? Everybody okay? Everybody okay? Like, that's the stupid stuff that Solo can do. And you start seeing what Solo can be. Like, I mean, imagine if he was the heel, this heel Solo doing these wise ass things. It would have been the gray area of Stone Cold. Like, yes, you're supposed to hate him, but you love him because he's such a jackass. Like when he was heel, when he was doing the little Jimmy Crack corn, he's wearing You had Kurt Angle with the small cowboy hat. Stone Cold was trying to be serious, and they're trying to do the whole thing with him, McMahon and Stone Cold. Like, there was ways to go, and I'm not saying Solo is Stone Cold. Don't put that there, but I'm saying the character arcs to where you allow the fans to invest. You like him or you don't like him, instead of being like, okay, now we're gonna have to make a choice because he's gonna fall in line with the bloodline, or there's gonna be something happen there, and then now you're forced to like him. I feel like, again, this is where creatively, apparently, there's a lot of pull backstage. You got the TV writers that are used to writing episodic episodes and having a payoff each episode. You have Triple H and the pro wrestling guys that have been there forever. We need long-term storytelling. So you're getting a mixture of it all. And I don't know that it's balancing out. That's the problem that I'm having, is because you have the bloodline in a long-term storytelling arc with how they're all kind of coming together again. But then you're having short-term payoffs with Solo losing and having to go back. So I don't know what the balance is there. It's a new style of really watching wrestling, and I don't know that I like every bit of it, because I don't need to have that payoff, because my investment is on the Solo character arc growing and becoming what it was. From what it was back 2 months ago to now, it is night and day.
I'll tell you this. I didn't like the fact that he lost, right? But I'm gonna give WWE still a chance, and this is the reason why.
Well, no, I'm not giving up on it. I'm waiting, but go ahead.
The reason I'm gonna give WWE a chance is because you just finished saying something that is very important. The fact that Solo is that humor type of character right now, right? And this reminds me of something back then, which I feel if they're smart about it, they could play it off again. And this comes back to
Say the name. Which name is it?
This is back to The Rock and the Nation of Domination. Now, if you guys remember the Nation of Domination, you remember those guys were tough guys. Those guys wanted to go ahead and beat up on everybody, and they were serious folks until The Rock came. And then The Rock was more of the funny character. He started developing more into a funny character in the Nation of Domination, to the point where eventually his arrogance and the way he was delivering stuff surpassed Farouk at the time, who was the leader. Now, maybe this is something they're trying to do, which is they're going to put Solo in there. And if they're able to put Solo in there and make him similar in the sense that he is the humor guy, he's the guy who's making things funny, he's the guy mocking, he's the guy who's not following order, and he's getting more of the attention, even more than Jacob or even Roman Reigns, what is not to say that all of a sudden this catapults Solo to become possibly the leader of the bloodline. So I'm gonna give it still some time. I mean, I might be reaching.
No. I like the thinking there, but the problem I have is, yes, Farouk was a known name, but he wasn't a Roman.
Correct. That is true.
Or a character. I felt like Farouk was the placeholder, and then once Rock joined, they're like, okay, now we found the guy to succeed him. And again, maybe you're onto something here. You might be onto something. Maybe they're trying to say, okay, let's see if Solo can become that. Because again, whether you knock it or whatever you want to do, the SmackDown part of the bloodline was working until it was not. I don't blame Solo in them. I blame the creative direction of that part, because when they were the bloodline, they were attacking and they were getting out and everything. That's what they were. Then they became the whole thing with the Wyatt Six, and maybe that was because they started going to the Solo change and they wanted to start narrowing it down, and maybe some of that played into it. But I think Solo could be a leader of it, and if that is what they're trying to do, again, that's a different thing. What I thought you were going to go with, honestly, was he'll play the Sami Zayn role in this current bloodline, where he was the enforcer before. Now Jacob is the enforcer, and he becomes that Sami Zayn wild card part of the bloodline, but he's actually a member of the bloodline. He's not an honorary Oos. He's an actual Oos. I thought maybe, he was going to play. That's where I thought you were heading, but I kind of like that part that you just said there because, again, Roman's not going to be there forever. So you do allow Solo to become that guy. I just don't know that it's going to be as easy, and nothing to Farouk, nothing to Ron Simmons, nothing like that. But the aura of Farouk to Roman is huge.
It is huge.
It's huge. But again, if you're trying to lay that egg and you're trying to see where it goes, that makes sense as well, So,
Yeah, because then if you start seeing all of a sudden like Solo buy gifts to the rest of the members, that reminds me of The Rock back in the day when he gave them expensive watches and stuff like that. Like all that little nuggets. It's if you're a hardcore WWE fan and you've watched WWE for a while or are a fan that likes to watch some of the older episodes, you'll start putting things in place to the point, like kind of like what they've done when they did with Dominic Mysterio, even though I feel like I don't know what they're doing with him now. But before you saw, he was kind of like the same, a different version of Eddie Guerrero, right? So I feel, and wrestling, how wrestling is, it's always pretty much the same thing, just with a couple, little changes here and there to make it a little bit different. So when I'm gonna give him a chance. I think I would like that idea. I want to see Solo be the jokester in the group. I want to see Solo be kind of like the guy who's not obeying orders, kind of like when everybody's raising their fingers up in the sky acknowledging the tribal chief, maybe Solo's in the back going ahead and just looking at him or something, or doing something, or just not even raising his whole hand, like if he was raising his hand just for the hell of it instead of raising a finger, like making a mockery.
What would be funny is if he did the Nation of Domination fist and they were doing the finger and he actually did the an homage to the Nation of Domination type thing. But, that's going to be interesting. What I would like to see, too, and going off of what you just said, all of a sudden they come into a room and there's just watches sitting there. And Solo's not taking, account of it all, but there's watches for all of them. And then, he's got one and then he's like, oh, I wonder who these came from. This and that. And then, weeks go on and there's different presents every time. And then ultimately you start figuring out that, again, because I feel like they're trying to rush so much because, again, you got the TV writers that really want to have that episodic payoff every episode.
Yeah.
And then you got storylines that you want to stretch out. So sometimes I feel like they're paying off one but hurting the other. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, again, I wouldn't mind if they do the Sami Zayn role with Solo where he stays a little bit of a wild card, or that what you just brought up with the Nate, because both of them kind of play along that line to where you keep Solo as he is right now. Like, I don't want Solo to change. Like, right now, keep Solo the way he is. To me, this is the best version of Solo that you can have.
What we've had.
You know he's a menace and he can be the muscle when he needs to be. Now you're seeing that he's a complete character. Like,
yeah, like he could still come out with Jey Uso, and then when Jey Uso's done doing his entrance, he does it himself, and then he does it, and then Jey Uso's like looking at him saying, "What the hell is this guy doing?" Like,
or he goes, "That's your warning shot," and then Solo goes pew instead of bang. When he goes to go bang, it's like pew, and it's like, what do you little things like that'll keep it
entertaining.
Yes, yeah,
it'll keep it entertaining.
When Sami Zayn's like he's not feeling oozy. Like, you're going to get little things like that to where a crowd can be like, start chanting things. And then, again, and Solo, think about it. They did that to build Sami to what he is today.
They did.
And Solo, to me, is there already. So now if you do that to build him, he's going to go up.
And it's worked.
Can he get to the Roman level? Can he get to Cody? Can he get to, CM Punk? That's a different level. But this could be a way to do that. You're 100% correct. And with the Chelsea thing, I think
that's where we're going to go, yeah.
The same way, because organically, it's already happened for Chelsea, right? Michael Hayes, Chelsea Green's great, but she's never going to be a champion. Okay. What did the fans do? Fans made sure Everything Chelsea did, they loved. And again, she makes it easy to love because of her quirkiness, her ability to do whatever. And again, when she broke her orbital bone, I go, wait, she had this injury before.
Mm-hmm.
And she put the mask on and she did the whole thing when she was doing the Hervis, secret Hervis and all this stuff. She had a broken orbital bone then too. And again, she can wrestle. She wrestled with it. I think what you're going to see is, I feel like they're gonna. I know. Matt came to her rescue, so now you're kind of bringing them together on screen. So you're going to see a different side of Chelsea, but I almost feel like they're going to make her go back to a heel by forcing her. And again, she can still do her quirkiness because she was a heel before and everybody loved it anyway. So it's not changing anything with her. But I think when you force her to do the 30 days, and she's still the interim, by the way.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of things to where I feel like they're going to end up screwing her somehow with the belt. And you're going to see a different side, like a Fatal Attraction side of her where she just snaps and like she's done it before where her hair's like all frizzled up and she just looks crazy, like demented. I almost feel like they're doing it, but at the same time, I like this Chelsea though.
Okay, so here we kind of see a different kind of viewing here, and the reason I say that is because I do feel that they screwed up Chelsea obviously last weekend, last Friday when they had Fatal Influence, the two tag teams. Go ahead and pin Chelsea Green, your best, your champion at that time. And a lot of people were saying they had removed the interim off her name, and now they put it back on. So they made her pin because they wanted to set up Tiffany versus JC Jane, and obviously we found out that JC Jane beat Tiffany last night.
Yeah.
But my thing is, it hurt Chelsea for the simple fact that obviously, why did you have to pin her? Like, she's your champion. You don't. Who cares about?
Yeah, but they're going to make her look
Tiffany.
like the weakest champion ever. That's what they're going to do.
Okay, but all right. I see where you're going with
she
that.
stays the champion because she's able to fight through it all for the same reason she's been able to stay a WWE superstar.
Well,
she has perseverance. She's able to get through.
Well, all right. If you feel that way, then yesterday's when Tiffany when she came out again and they were gonna remove her belt and all that stuff, I felt they did her dirty again. And I don't know if they're doing this on purpose. Maybe you have a point. Maybe this is a storyline where they're going with this to she does become like a crazy maniac or something, like another Lyra Valkyria, but on the SmackDown side, since Lyra's kind of having that crazy tantrum in the Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, but you're also seeing more personality from Lyra than you've ever seen.
But we're not seeing her in the ring.
Yeah, no, I know, but it gives a chance to see. I mean, think about it. Everything that Chelsea did, though, when she was going through as she's grown, a lot of it wasn't wrestling.
Yeah, but I mean, again, all right, hold on. Let me see where
a lot
where
of
we're
the
going with
good
this.
character growth happens outside. Solo, it's not wrestling. It's his delivery. It's his comedic. Again, that's what Chelsea's always had. She can wrestle. She can go with the best of them in the ring. WWE doesn't allow her to. I mean, if you've watched old videos, as people said in the chat last week, her against Penta on that one on the episode of Lucha Underground, she can go with and do things, but that's not what they have her doing at WWE.
But here's the thing: this is not a early young Chelsea Green. We already know she can go, so I don't feel they have to go this route with her again, because she has done it. She even mentioned it yesterday. She's like, she's been dumped in dumpsters. She's been put on cakes. She's done everything, and then you're doing her this dirty. And not only that, but then when you have a segment for her, it supersedes her segment by bringing out Gunther. What the hell is that? Why are you so everything that whole segment that was dedicated for Chelsea all of a sudden gets washed because now you brought Gunther on here, and Gunther at the end faces Matt Cardona, which in a way it kind of pushed Chelsea to the side. At the end of the
But
day,
did you feel bad for Chelsea after that?
yes, I did. I did
Okay.
feel bad for
That,
Chelsea.
that's the empathy they're building.
But
That's the empathy they're building. Again,
but they're making her a
Chelsea's
weak, a really, really
Chelsea
weak
is being
champion, though.
swept to the side. Chelsea's being swept to the side. Why did she get where she is right now? Michael Hayes swept her to the side. Chelsea is never going to be good enough. She's never going to be a Charlotte. She's never going to be a Becky. She's never going to be this. And then what they do last night? They reinforced. I've been put in dumpsters. Charlotte's never been put in a dumpster.
No.
Becky's never been put in a dumpster. I've been thrown in cake. Becky's never been thrown in cake. Charlotte's never. Well, actually, has Becky been? Becky's done some things. So Charlotte's never been done, that way. You know what I'm saying? But like when you look at it, it almost reinforces everything. Would Charlotte's segment be cut off by Gunther and Matt Cardona?
Absolutely not.
Thank you. Now Becky might get cut off by Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns,
Yes. But
or
see,
CM Punk and
but
Seth
see,
Rollins.
but here's my
They build empathy though.
yeah, but
You're
they build
like, at the end of that, you're like, what the fudge are they doing with Chelsea again? Here we go. This is unreal all over again.
okay, but then
I feel like that's where they're trying to go.
where's the end of the tunnel? Who's gonna be her
I
next
don't know.
opponent?
Again, this is the part where Triple H wants long-term storytelling and the wrestling people, and the TV people want episodic payoff. Well, we can't get the payoff with Chelsea, so how can we implement this as a payoff? Oh, Gunther interferes. Matt Cardona is the knight in shining armor who's going to get killed because the dragon's going to take out the one that tries to protect her. That's your payoff, unfortunately. Again, but that's the balance that I don't think they figured out in the creative process between episodic TV writing and trying to do pro wrestling long-term storytelling. Because the TV people are fighting for, we need endings. We need an ending to each show. And the pro wrestling people are saying, no, because if you give them the ending, they don't need to come back next week.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Okay, if you take that angle with Chelsea, who's their next opponent? Because I think from what I saw yesterday,
She's not going to wrestle until the 29th day.
okay, I understand that, but
They're gonna
who's her
give
next
that Orton
opponent?
Bone as much time. And again,
I feel it's Tiffany. I feel Tiffany's gonna backstab her, and Tiffany's gonna be like, "Look, I rescued you all these damn times," and then all of a sudden, so that would defeat the purpose of her having like sympathy for Chelsea, because at the end of the day, I feel like that if they go that route and they make that decision to go Chelsea versus Tiffany, then that defeats the purpose of her being a weak champion, because all of a sudden,
but
Tiffany, now you're changing the storyline that Tiffany was having her back all the time, saving her. She won the belt because of her. And again, I'm just assuming that if that might be the next opponent.
What if they end up doing something where Nick Aldis thinks he's helping Chelsea by doing a triple threat and making it Tiffany versus Chelsea versus somebody else.
Nia
And again-
Jax, Lash Legend.
Okay, Nia Jax. And you get the thing going, okay, Tiffany, I put Tiffany in the match. And again, Nick Aldis, pro wrestling, go with me here on this.
Yep.
I'm putting Tiffany in going, okay, she's had her back all this time. She'll have her back here. And then Tiffany turns. And then, and now you're feeling like, oh, okay, she's done Chelsea wrong. And whether they do it as a disqualification, but in a triple threat match, I don't think you can do a disqualification, or they take the belt off of her and Chelsea has to chase Tiffany to get the belt back at the next pay-per-view. If they do this on a SmackDown, I'm saying. Because in 30 days, it would be before, I think, the next pay-per-view. So if they did it actually, they could do it at Saturday night's main event, or something like that.
Yeah,
and then before, at the pay-per-view, Chelsea goes back after the title with their fully healed or whatever. But the empathy is there because now you ended up screwing Chelsea because you put Tiffany in a match that she ended up screwing Chelsea on or something.
The problem for me in this particular case is that, again, if they go with that route and they go with the fact that Tiffany eventually, maybe they do a three-way. Maybe there's a case where Nia Jax is about to pin Chelsea and Tiffany saves her again. And then she takes the hit, and then Nia Jax is about to pin her, and then all of a sudden you got like a roll up from Chelsea, and Chelsea again wins and retains the belt or something like that, right? Again, it defeats the purpose of putting her down when they did that with the Fatal Influence match, what they did to her yesterday. Again, and if they were to do that, like I said, it would just make the storylines all clunky, because either you're gonna stick with the storyline that she sucks and that we're gonna put her down all the way to the end, and then eventually she'll react. Either we'll get an evil side of Chelsea, or we'll get something bigger and badder where she's gonna be a baby, kind of like the Yes movement, and all of a sudden everybody follows behind her, and she could be a great title champion for the women's division. Or we let that go for like 2 seconds, and all of a sudden now we got a storyline between Tiffany and Chelsea now, and that's what we're gonna go with. So I don't know, I don't know, but at the end of the day, they need to make a decision as to where they're gonna go with this sense of direction, because if they go again putting,
get it, man. I don't think you're gonna get it right now, bro.
but it's
Because there's too
frustrating.
much-
That's what
like,
frustrates
when
me
I'm
when
looking
you
at-
have a wrestler
When I'm
like her.
looking back at everything, when you look back at everything, there is a divide. And again, I've been reading some things, and that's why I'm harping on the TV writer pro wrestling side of it, because that seems to be where a lot of the divide is coming right now. Because, you know, again, Triple H does make the final decision, but apparently TKO is involved more than ever before, and they like the payoffs because, again, you're putting results and people pay to go see results, which is what they believe. So it's very interesting to see what they do with Chelsea, because I don't know that there's a Chelsea has been the one that can take chicken shit and make chicken salad.
I agree.
And I feel like unfortunately for her in this instance, they're like, we can do whatever we want to do because she's going to make it come out on the other side. Whether we mess it up or whatever, she's going to go through this and make it what we want it to be. And again, at what point does it become where Chelsea can't turn that chicken shit to chicken salad?
That's a good point. That's a good point. And
Because
I just
you put so much on her. Now you're gonna again going off of my what I was talking about. You put her in a match. She's got a broken orbital bone, and she's going against Tiffany and Nia in a triple threat. I'm just saying, if this is the route they go to go there, or she's in a singles match with just Nia, or she's in just a singles match somehow with Tiffany or Lash or whatever it's going to be. Like, I don't know how you turn this around from going from we're possibly gonna strip you of the title because you're injured to you have 30 days to defend it. How does Chelsea turn this into? And again, the heel part of me thinks that if Chelsea was a heel still and Alba Fire was still there, Chelsea tells Alba Fire, you get a shot at the title. Alba Fire lays down. Chelsea pins her and goes, I've outsmarted you guys once again.
yeah.
And there's my title defense. Now I get another 30 days. So on the 29th day, they do that match. She gets another 30 days to defend her title.
Yeah.
And you keep it going with silly stuff like that. But as a baby face Chelsea, now I feel like she has to fight. She has now, it's not her being the smart-ass Chelsea, the wise one, and outsmarting and manipulating everybody. That's the heel Chelsea. The babyface Chelsea has to show that I can persevere and I can win fighting. To me,
right.
that's the babyface Chelsea.
All right.
And I
so,
don't know that is the right way to go.
all right. So now I wanna change it a little bit here. You know, we've been talking about SmackDown and how SmackDown has been kind of a boring show, right? They obviously were at 3 hours a couple months ago, and then they dropped it down to 2 now. But now you're starting to see a little bit more movement on the SmackDown roster. You're seeing they brought in Tatum Paxley, which was something new. I don't know if you caught this, but after SmackDown last night, you had Blake Monroe. They did a thing with Blake Monroe after on their social media where she's gonna fight against Julia, who apparently reappeared. And so you have Tatum Paxley. Now you have Blake Monroe. You have Kevin Owens. You have CM Punk. You have Randy Orton. You still have Sami Zayn. You have Jade. You still have Charlotte Flair. You have Alexa Bliss. You have a big amount of superstars now on SmackDown. Do you feel that SmackDown, they just overloaded it too much to where some of these talents are not going to be able to be seen?
Yeah, they're gonna have to be smart about it. But again, you could do it the way you did Randy last night. Like nobody knew he was gonna be booked. You booked Sammy against Cody. Sammy match doesn't happen, right? Yeah, Randy and Cody fight all through the thing. They're gonna have to come up with different ways of making sure everybody at least gets seen. Like you're gonna have to come up with little vignettes or something to where, okay, Alexa, Charlotte, we can't have you on the show this week, but let's get you two and Tatum together to shoot a vignette in the back. Tatum, you're gonna have a match because we need to show you in the ring, but Charlotte and Alexa just need to be here or something, so they record something. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to have to be innovative because, again, as you said, they have stacked it up, and now you only have two. They stacked it up for three, but now you're down to two, which makes it feel better because with three, it felt like it was lagging. Although now with all the additions and everything, maybe now it would have been better to stay. But, again, it will go back to three. I believe it's January through July is 3 hours. And then once the season starts, like football-wise, they go to two because, for whatever reason, college football Friday and is going to win out and everything else. So,
Yeah, because you saw Trick Williams didn't wrestle. He was just there helping. I guess once they tried to stop Baron Corbin after he beat Carmelo Hayes, and then you also had Chelsea and Alexa. I'm sorry, Chelsea. You had Alexa and Charlotte. With the whole little skit with Tatum in the back where she went inside the room and all that stuff. And then, but and obviously you had the face-to-face CM Punk and KO. We haven't even seen Drew McIntyre. I don't know when Drew is going to come back either. And I don't know if
there's a lot of interesting things, and they're going to have to get creative.
They are.
And they're going to have to get creative to where, okay, you don't have to see everybody wrestle, but you're going to have to set up something with all of them to do something and keep it within the storyline too. That's going to be the interesting part. Like how often do you need to see Charlotte actually wrestle on SmackDown, or does she become that? Okay, she's always in the corner with Alexa and Tatum, and Alexa and Tatum are in tag teams. Charlotte's on the outside, and you see Charlotte wrestle only at PLEs.
Well, I mean,
You know what I'm saying? Like they can start doing that, but you have to again. You still have to make Charlotte mean something on the outside. She can't just be, whatever. That's the creative part I'm talking about, though. Is
as
how
long as
you
they
keep them.
as long as you don't put Charlotte with Jade Cargill again on the SmackDown, we'll be fine.
I think that's might happen. Might see it.
Well, weren't you disappointed? I thought that was a huge botch fest. I mean, when they announced it last Friday, not yesterday,
Problem
but
is,
the one before.
I feel like Jade had one of her best matches, and then it's like fallen off cliff. Like all of a sudden, like, oh, I got my bet, and now it's just like, what are we? Just keep it simple.
She made
Keep
Charlotte
it
look so
simple.
bad.
And then
you
they
know
start
Charlotte can
trying to
hang.
do all these different things, and we got to do this out of no. Keep it very simple. Keep it very simple. Make it look good. Make it look, because you just take away from everything you just did. You had probably your best match in WWE, and then it's followed up by
A disaster.
ugh.
And you know something? Thank God, because at first when I saw it, I was like, man, they're giving us Jade versus Charlotte the first time they meet against each other on a SmackDown. That doesn't make any sense. But then after the fight was over, I was like, that made perfect sense. But that also, it's kind of, I don't know if to blame Charlotte or to blame Jade that maybe they've never worked as much together in the ring. They should have ran this before because, man, that looked bad. That looked very bad. Now
the new thing they're doing, and again, it's more because they're going international and other things. The house shows, I think, will help a little bit. Again, it's not gonna quail everything, but again, you can have the tag team matches like they've been having with Braun and Oba, to where you're not getting Oba versus Braun, but you're getting glimpses of Oba and Braun together so they can get timing. So by the time they end up working each other, hopefully it'll look a little bit more resemblance of a wrestling match and not a botch fest.
Well, let me ask you this. So there's two big matches that we're obviously eventually going to get. Now that you bring in Oba and Brock. So what do you think about that lead up? Obviously, Oba and Brock, and the way Paul Heyman is being put into the storyline. And then, what do you think about Kevin Owens and CM Punk going ahead and fighting on a regular SmackDown, not on a EPL?
Yeah, I'm thinking again. We watched last night. We watched the match
Sorry.
get destroyed before it even started. I'm hoping that's what happens there. But I like the promos wars with Owens and Punk, which again I know Punk's gone off script and Owens has gone off script, and they're both okay with it. You know what I'm saying? That's when again when you have the respect and you have the thing of your opponent and you can do things like like I forgot what he said to Kevin Owens, but something about fat ass and this and that and
Yeah.
and Owens like no, it's perfect. This is what again because the more real you make it feel, the more that fans can invest in it and be like, okay, this isn't just some script and they're just reading it and everything because you're like, okay, yeah, now I can get behind this. The Braun thing, again, I said the other day, like you beat Brock in Hell in a Cell, and it feels like you went backwards. But again, I don't know who should have been. The only thing that really felt plausible was him going straight to the title picture,
Yeah.
which would have probably been bad for Oba because I don't know that he's gonna get the win over Roman. So I like this, and then I thought about this because I was looking through the stories, and one thing hit me, and I can't remember whose it was because I was looking at so many different things. So I apologize, but somebody came up with this, not me. Remember at the end of SummerSlam, Brock takes the mic and he says, "I'm the past, Oba's the future." And I was like, I think I said it on the thing. I'm like, but he never said the present. Braun needs to become the present. The problem is they killed him. He was going to become the present, then his injury, and then they brought him back and put him in the tag team or whatever, and he kind of just sat there. I think if he was on the trajectory that he was before, this would have been an easy fill-in. Because it would have been Braun as the present, Oba's the future. He just beat the past. Now he moves on to the present, which is Braun. However you want to look at it. Because then at least there was a path there. I don't think that path has been clearly enough stated. I think Braun and Oba are doing a great job. But I don't think, like, for Oba to become the future, he needs to beat the present. Like, I think it needs to be laid out that way. And I don't know that it's necessarily being that way. I mean, you just got two freaking beasts gonna go and lock against each other, and that's kind of what they're basing it on. But to me, it should be, again, I don't know how much you want Braun talking on the mic and everything else and all this stuff and going, but it should be I'm the present, you're the future. Yes, Brock said you're the future. Well, I'm the present. And in order to get to the future, you got to beat the present or something. To where it, and again, I don't know that this necessarily needs anything because it's just two badasses gonna fight, which is what I thought with Brock and Oba. Like, it doesn't need much. This match doesn't need much. But going from beating Brock Lesnar in Hell in a Cell to just going against Braun Breaker, it's like it feels a step down.
Well, here's the thing. I'm glad you didn't come up with that because I don't see it that way. I see it like when Brock said, "I'm the past and he's the future." I think the reason he said he's the future is because I think Roman is the present. I don't think it has nothing to do with Braun Breaker.
I'm not saying, but Braun Breaker has to believe he's the present.
No, because
Braun Breaker needs to be like, look, if you want to get to Roman, you need to go through me. And I don't feel like it's being presented that way.
Well,
I feel like it's being presented as, and again, when you look at it as a casual fan, it's just two badasses fighting each other. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. But if we're going to get this for a few months, and this is going to keep Oba busy for a few months, there needs to be more than just badasses fighting each other, or it's going to be another one of the Oba versus Brock 3 in a row Oba wins 2 out of 3, and then that's what we're going to get again. And it's going to be Oba against people 2 out of 3s, and then he moves on, and that becomes stale after a while.
I get you. Here's my thing. I think this is where Paul Heyman is playing a big part, because if you saw the interaction that he had on Monday night saying, hey, look, do you think Oba's better than me? And Paul Heyman was like, I think you feel Oba Femi is better than you and all that stuff and all that. And I think that's where you have to include Paul Heyman to change the trajectory of what a lot of people are assuming might be, which is two heavy hitters going after each other, kind of like an AEW type of vibes. And that's it, right? This is where Paul Heyman has to be included in order for him to make this a storyline. And I think personally, when Brock Lesnar went ahead and said, hey, I was the past, he's the future, this is passing of the torch, that also means passing of Paul Heyman. And I think Paul Heyman needs to team up with Oba Femi. I think that's the only way Oba Femi will catapult even more and justify his wins or losses. That means, how can you defend if he loses? The only way you could go ahead and have Oba Femi lose is because Paul Heyman gets hit on the back and he's trying to protect Paul Heyman and he gets rolled up or something and he loses. It won't hurt Oba Femi because at the end of the day, there's always going to be, hey, there's Paul Heyman. That's the reason why he lost. It wasn't a clean pin. Things got involved. I think that's the only way you could help him. And then at the same time, catapult him to the point where Paul Heyman has elevated him so high. Like, imagine you bring in Paul Heyman into that matchup. Braun Breaker, Oba Femi, Paul Heyman, and Braun Breaker's corner. And then all of a sudden you have Oba Femi getting in there and you see Paul Heyman doing certain things. And you've seen him. He's turned on people. He's turned on Roman. He's turned on CM Punk. He's done those things. There's a way to create a story, but it all falls on Paul Heyman in order for him to make that story more relevant instead of just a banger versus a banger.
Paul Heyman in?
Technically right now, neither one of them. But I feel he keeps giving respect to Oba Femi a lot. Because he says it. He said it. I respect Oba Femi. So I don't know if he's dropping nuggets by saying, hey, I respect him. Kind of insinuating, look, it's only a matter of time before I head on to that corner because he's
to
the
me,
future.
The story would be right now, Paul gaining Oba's confidence in him. And then when they wrestled each other, Heyman breaks that confidence and Braun Breaker gets the win.
That could be a different route.
And then it becomes Heyman, because just the Heyman Weasel character that he is now, and no offense to Bobby the Brain Heenan there on that, one of the greatest of all time. But I feel like that's Heyman's thing now, right? It's like, I get your confidence and I break it. He's done it with everybody. Brock, Roman, Seth,
Punk.
Yeah, I mean, it's been everybody he's been with. So now the story is I gain Oba's confidence by doing things that normally I don't do to show Oba that yes, I respect you and I'm going to be in your corner because Brock anointed you or whatever it's going to be. And then ultimately when it gets to the match, I think, or maybe they do one match and Oba and Heyman helps Oba win, and then in the second match, that's when he does the turn, and then the third match blows it off. However you want to do it, but I agree with you there. I think Heyman is probably the instrumental part of this if you want to go that route.
Yeah.
And again, the only reason I say, could you see a Heyman changing his feathers and actually staying with Oba? I think the story becomes, if you want it to be, again, if it's a one-off and it's one match, then the story is Heyman gaining Oba's confidence and, I don't want to say respect because I think they probably respect each other, but his confidence that he's not going to turn on him. And then maybe ultimately, and this is going a different pattern here, but what if Heyman gets Oba's confidence, Oba blasts through Braun, moves on to take on Roman, and then Paul Heyman is the reason Oba doesn't win the title because the Wise Men realigns back with the bloodline. And then now that story, you start the story here with Heyman getting into Oba, and then you end the story with him costing him down the line. The reason Reigns keeps the title, and then you can keep Oba that way, strong in that way. So there could be quite a few ways
That is true. Yeah.
this could go, and I think every one of them for Oba, I think the Paul Heyman part of it is instrumental. Somehow Paul Heyman has become instrumental in the Oba Femi arc going forward.
One last quick thing. Do you like this Stephanie Valkyrie Becky Lynch versus kind of Liv Morgan? It looks like we're gonna get Becky and Stephanie at one point in time, and then probably the winner from that will go against Liv. Do you like this, or is this not something that you're entertaining?
I mean, the only thing I think is like, I feel like they don't want Liv going one-on-one with either one of them just for the fact that they want to keep Liv the champion. I think this way they beat the crap out of each other. Liv slides in and gets the pin over one of them. Then they can blame each other, and then they can fight each other, and you keep Liv as the champion. I feel like that's what this is more about than having them as, oh, we have to have names fighting for the championship. I think it's just more because you've watched Liv. She is that character now that she's become Dom, right? She picks and chooses when she's gonna attack. She's become the Eddie Guerrero in a way. She's learned from Dom. Okay, Becky's got her back turned. Okay, here I come, bam. And then when you're watching it all. What's up, Memo? And Tony and Adrian. I'm sorry, I saw you guys earlier. I did but I don't know if you picked up on it. So I think they're just there to kind of keep each other from winning the title. That's honestly what I think.
Yeah.
In a way, it's like a block for them, and it gives them. And again, Becky's all about helping the younger talent. So if she can get in there with Stephanie, I think that'd be a cool little thing after a while. And then ultimately, maybe the payoff is one of them beats the other, and then they beat Liv down the road. But this keeps the title on Liv a little longer, and it allows them to, have some good matches.
Anything else you want to cover on the WWE side that we may have missed?
Just the handling of Dom, and I know we did it the other day, man, but he lost to Dragon Lee this week.
Terrible.
And it's like, and I know I saw an article where it says that he's being frustrated. And again, I don't know if this is all part of the storyline to where, but man, dude, like for right now, take him off TV, put him at AAA, and then figure it out, man. Whatever you're gonna do with them, just stop.
Well, even on the Ola de Calor, which is wave of hot of hot, right? That's
wave of hot because
are they
we're in the heat wave.
Because of the heat wave, yeah. So it's the opposite in Spanish.
Heat wave in Texas, baby.
They put Dom Mysterio on the cover, but he's not even the main guy in the cover. You know who's the main guy in the cover? El Grande Americano. So now do I not only feel that they're disrespecting him on Monday night, but now they're disrespecting him on AAA. To the point where you're like, come on, man, what is going on here? Like, how are you going to insult Dom Mysterio in that form of fashion? It's so disappointing, man. I don't know what they're thinking and what they're doing with Dom. He had so much momentum, and now all of a sudden, I mean, look, I don't know, I don't think it was last night, but isn't Rey Mysterio also challenging Chad Gable for the IC belt, I believe? At one point in time, I think they had planned that, and they were going to get something like that coordinating. I think it was not this past Friday, but the Friday before. They're bringing back Rey Mysterio to fight. Like, come on, man. Like, I love Rey Mysterio, but, you got his son. His son is the one that should be shining, So, they're really dropping the ball with that kid. Memo says, did you guys talk about the Kofi trademarking his name? Did you hear about that?
Well, I know he traded he trademarked Kofi something, but he didn't trademark Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston is WWE, but he did Kofi something like another last name, and something else, I believe, or maybe it was just the Kofi part too.
Well, the thing too is that the word on the street is that they're making their way over to to AEW on All In. That's supposedly the rumor that it's official. Who, Kofi Kingston? Yeah, I think he's gonna leave WWE. Who do you mean? Who's gonna leave? If you're talking about Kofi Kingston,
they cut him like in his 90 days. They end, I think, soon.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're talking about Kofi Kingston, because if there is, then yeah, he's been gone. Yeah, man, he's been gone, bro. Yeah, he says yes. Yeah, he's been gone. He's been gone for a while, along with his partner in crime. The New Day is gone, bro.
Apollo Creed.
Yeah,
Apollo
they're
Creed's
both gone.
back.
They're both gone. So
Yeah,
they're
they've
100%.
been gone for a while now. I think their 90 days is almost up, which is why now he's trademarking everything, so that they can go and do that. And now it's his, so they can't. Now he can make money off of it and shirts and things like that.
But now let's talk a little. Anything else on the WWE side, or I think we
I
covered
think
most of it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
All right, so now let's jump a little bit to AEW, and what I wanted to talk about AEW is something that came up recently, and it was the fact that they had a big Chris Jericho interview. The interview with and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing this. It's called the Shaquille Manjuri, Shaq Wrestling, in other words. It was Chris Jericho being interviewed there, and he spoke a lot about a lot of things. He spoke about the reason why he doesn't worry about AEW and WWE. He spoke about why he chose AEW over WWE. He spoke about his relationship with Tony Khan. He talked about his retirement, about his legacy in WWE, all those things. Sean, did you get a chance to listen to this interview?
I did not, so I'm looking forward to hearing some of this because I did not. I'm not gonna lie.
All right.
Listen to Shaska. What is it? Shaska Wrestling.
It's called Shaquille Majuri or Shaq Wrestling. SHAK. I like the way he spelled it. He didn't spell it like Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, I mean, again, if it's a podcast, I might get to it, but I have not listened to it yet.
Okay, so when it comes to one of the things that really happened with the reason why he picked AEW over WWE, which reiterates the fact that WWE was very interested in Chris Jericho.
Yeah, you knew they were. You knew they were because they wanted to have a reunion and Hall of Fame. That's all. It was about putting asses in the seats. It was nothing to do with Chris Jericho coming back to wrestle. It was probably more about the Hall of Fame induction.
And in a way, I think it's really good that he did not go back to WWE because they were either gonna stick him against Gunther and Gunther was gonna like destroy him, or number two, they weren't gonna find any room for him in all reality.
They weren't gonna find room for him, and they were gonna force him out the door.
Yeah. So Jericho, basically what he said, he explained that AEW is different because he helped and created. He felt that because he created it, it has more meaning and it brought skin in the game. And there's also saying that he did not want to go to WWE because he felt like he had, obviously, what a lot of the wrestlers have mentioned, a lot of more time to do whatever he did. So he was out for a long, long period. He was able to do tours. He was able to do his boat. He was able to do all that stuff that he typically does. Then when he came back, he was actually able to go ahead and reflect on his wrestling career. And one of the things also that helped the reason why he stayed with AEW is because he had to fix his relationship with Tony Khan. Now, he didn't go into too specific what was the issue that they had, but it says that he had previously spoken to him. He had to kind of clear the airway, but he did not go into detail as to what was the problem. All he said was that they had a very positive conversation and it was amended very quickly. And that was one of the reasons why eventually, they pushed that to the side and he started talking, hey, let's continue working together and stuff like that. So it really, really helped. And I think another thing that helped Jericho for him to stay in AEW is that Jericho never went ahead and gave a specific deadline as to when he was going to retire. And I know you don't like that, Sean, because I know you've mentioned to me that you do not want to see Jericho wrestle. I like Jericho wrestling here and there. I mean, I think he had a pretty good fight this past Wednesday on Dynamite. With Kevin Knight.
I don't mind him wrestling here and there on Dynamite. I don't need him every week on Dynamite. Make him an attraction. It was becoming, you had Big Bill and you had Keith on the outside, the guys that should be wrestling, watching Jericho. Now, if you're doing an angle and he's like, watch this, kids, and he's doing the learning tree thing, then I get that. But they weren't doing that. So, look, I don't think that he can't go anymore. I just think he needs to be more of an attraction than the reason you're tuning in.
Yeah, he said that. He mentioned that Tony Khan wants Jericho to have his final match in AEW, because he knows that eventually. I mean, Jericho is I think he's 55 years old, so his time is winding up. He doesn't have that much time left. but it would be nice to see him, especially since he's one of the pioneers in AEW. He went and he mentioned, I think the fight that I think he had it with John Moxley in New Japan. And that's kind of what catapulted him and all the other guys to kind of make their way over to make AEW and stuff like that. So Jericho has a lot, I think, he wants to do before he retires. He did not in any way in the interview knock off the possibility of actually even going back to WWE either. So
No, because I think that's an open possibility, because I think when he knows it's his time, I think then he'll sign, he'll go into the Hall of Fame, and then career tied in a bow, done.
well,
But he knows with AEW, he controls the time he has left with Tony Khan. Again, that's where I think him and Tony Khan, when you're talking about the issues they had, I think Tony Khan was the one that was like, you need to wrestle all the time. And Y2J was like, I don't think so. And that's why I think he left for so long, to prove to Tony Khan that, hey, look, I can be off for a while. And look, the ship didn't sink. And now he's come back and he's done shows, and he was doing a lot of the things with Ricochet, where he was doing promos, which I don't mind. Jericho's great on the mic. And he wasn't really wrestling there. Then he wrestled the PLEs against Ricochet, which is good. And then he came back and he wrestled against Knight, which means something because it was on Dynamite, and he's not wrestling him every week. Knight goes over clean, which helps build Knight by beating Jericho. So he's helping the young guys as well. So I have no problem with the way they're handling, or the way, maybe, and again, maybe this is Jericho handling himself more than Tony Khan being like, we need you on every show. I like what they're doing right now with Y2J, and I agree with you. I think he would have made a mistake going back to WWE, because he would have probably signed a 2 or 3 year deal. He would have been on a few shows, and then he would have been put to the side. And then by the 3rd year, they would have been like, hey, let's put you in the Hall of Fame. And he would have been like, I need more stuff to do. And he probably would have went back to AEW again.
Well, here's one thing. And this is responding to Memo's comment. Y2J needs to pull CM Punk and barely wrestle like Punk does in WWE. I mean, if you think Punk is barely wrestling, I think that's hurt Punk, because I think he's slower and he's not as good as he was back in the day when he was.
Again, it's with Jericho. Jericho does 2 high risk moves. It's the lion salt, and it's the flying drop kick, which I don't think he's even been doing the flying drop kick as much. He used to go to the top rope and do the flying drop kick. Other than that, his stuff was ground and pound, most of it. The lion tamer, all that stuff, that ages well. CM Punk stuff will age well. The thing is, he's wrestling in the WWE fashion, which is, if you think you're going slow, slow it down.
Yeah.
Whereas in AEW, Jericho's in there with the guys doing 700 miles an hour, and it makes Jericho look even slower. CM Punk would stand out even more if he was in AEW than he does when he's in WWE, because everybody does the same style of match, except for your Pentas, your Ray Phoenix. That's your tempo changers, and then everybody else slows it back down. Then by the time you get to Roman and Punk in the main event, it's slowed down so much that you understand the way the match is kind of going to go. But with Jericho, when he's wrestling every week on AEW, to me, it takes away, one, because you see the difference and you see the aging. Whereas, look, you throw him out there against Kevin Knight. That was a great match.
It was.
I watched it. That was a great match.
It's really good.
And it helped Kevin Knight in a part where I felt like Kevin Knight was fledgling, like he was sinking. It wasn't, ever since he joined the Don Callis thing, like, I don't know that it's helped. I don't know what I've heard that he was kind of upset with the thing because what he was pitched, and when he got there, it was 2 different things. And I think that was because of the Kyle Fletcher injury. I think Kyle Fletcher came back quicker than they thought he was. So I think he was supposed to be the role. Kyle Fletcher was going to be out, and he was going to be the champion part of the Don Callis family. And then when Fletcher ended up coming back quicker, it was like, oh, okay, now we got 2 of you. What do we do? So I think there was some growing there. But again, if you're helping these guys grow and not keeping them down, And again, I don't think he was keeping. Again, Bill has been around for a while, but Keith, I didn't like the way they put them together as a learning tree, and the other guys are just really just there as roots holding Jericho up. But I like what they're doing now. I like since Jericho's come back. I like the way they've been doing this with him against Ricochet, him against Kevin Knight, and if you look at it, it's kind of he's wrestling the same style of guys. Ricochet's a kind of high flyer. Kevin Knight's a high flyer, young guys. Again, Ricochet didn't get his. He's been around for a while because of everything going on there, but he hasn't been able to be himself until he got there. But again, that seems to happen in AEW. Is you come in, you make a shit ton of noise, and then all of a sudden you're
Think up the
cornered.
place.
You're
Yeah.
somewhere. I mean, you're doing whatever. I mean, I don't know. So it's we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see.
We both agree that Jericho made the right decision in choosing
Yes,
AEW over
100%.
WWE.
Because again, if Jericho would have went to WWE, I would have said that he knows his time is numbered.
Okay, but here, let me ask you this.
If he thinks he still has gas in the tank, and again, I don't know, I'll never say that Jericho doesn't have it because he goes in the ring and he can perform all the time. Again, I don't want to see him every week
Uh-huh.
because I think everything he should be an attraction. That's the part that you'll never change my mind on because I've seen Jericho. I know he can go day in and day out. He did it his whole career. I get that, but now he's at the portion of his career where he's an attraction. I want to see him every once in a while, dust him off, throw him out there. Other than that, promos were good. But if he feels he's got a lot to do, and I think that has more to do with pushing the young guys in AEW to become something more, then 100% he made the right call.
Okay, so here's my question to you because I also do agree that, like, we both agree that he made the right decision going to AEW. Do you feel two things? Do you feel Chris Jericho's career is complete with what he achieved in WWE? And number two, do you feel, and I know it's kind of foolish, but I still value it a little bit. Do you ever feel that WWE will ever call Chris Jericho and induct him into the Hall of Fame?
The problem I have with it is TKO. They're a little petty. So if they feel like Jericho didn't do them right in the contract negotiations, the call may come, but later. Like, what was the first part? I'm sorry.
Do you think he fulfilled his whole career in WWE, or did he
I
miss
think
out?
in WWE he had a great career. I mean, he was a Triple Crown, if I'm not mistaken. He was the Grand Slam, one of the Grand Slam champions. I believe he held every title. I mean, well, I think they brought back in the U.S. title after he left, or maybe.
So there's nothing for him over there like that he could have
There's
achieved.
nothing for him. The only reason he would go back is for nostalgia.
Gotcha.
That's it, man. There's no reason for him. He doesn't need to go back to. I mean, I would love for him to be a manager or something and just do a list every week and just do something like in background or something, But that's all he would need to do in WWE. In AEW, he doesn't need to do anything either, though. That's the thing. It's like I feel like he's done everything he needs to do. Now, if himself feels that I got more to do for the young guys, which is what I think he means, because Jericho's never been that guy that has been selfish to say, yeah, he's selfish to a point, but he's he's a team guy.
Yeah,
And
Action
he feels
Andretti.
like he's done, again, I feel like the thing with him and Tony is almost what happened with Cody and Tony. But I think Tony learned from that situation and was able to open up a dialogue with Chris that he didn't with Cody. Because Chris and Cody, to me, feel like the same guy. And I don't know him from Adam, so I don't know 100%. But I feel like Chris is like, I have skin in AEW because I helped it from the beginning. And if I'm not gonna stay and watch Tony destroy it. But then they had to talk, and apparently, I'm not saying there's no respect. I think Tony and Cody have respect for each other because if not, we would have known by now from somebody
was
what the situation was. That means it would have gotten out somewhere.
Wait,
know
but
what
we
I'm
never
saying?
found out about what was this whole, like, the clear-cut problem between Cody and Tony, right? That never came out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why there's respect there.
Yeah.
Because if there wasn't, somebody would have been either way. Cody would have told
Kind of like CM Punk, right? Remember when CM Punk
Exactly.
blasted everything?
Exactly.
He didn't give a
that,
damn.
that
He
was
like,
out.
"Screw it."
I mean, that stuff got out way beforehand. And Tony knew Cody was going to debut, and nothing got spoiled. I mean, I know it was the worst kept secret because everybody knew he was going to be the guy to verse Seth, but nobody came out and said, it's Cody. You know what I'm saying? So there's respect there. And I think that respect is there with Tony and Chris as well, which is why you never heard, every time Tony was asked, he's like, we're in talks. You know, he never said, no, he's going to WWE. No, he's doing this. No, because there's respect there. It's not like, oh, yeah, he's leaning toward WWE, but we're trying. No, because I think there's respect there. But I also think Jericho is like, as he said in there, I got skin in this. And I'm not going to sit here and watch you like, if I come back, I want skin in it to help boost and bolster where this is going. I get it. Everyone's not going to be perfect, but I want to come back and have a role and implement things to make it to better, I think is what they did. And that's what I think all he needs to do in AEW. He doesn't need to, he's done everything in AEW too, to me. I mean, there's nothing for him to gain, but to me in AEW, he can help the younger guys and bolster AEW and those guys to become better so that there's lineage there when Jericho does leave, because ultimately I think he does leave, and I think he tries to go back to WWE to get a contract to get in the Hall of Fame. Now, will TKO do that, or will they be like, well, we offered it and you didn't want it, so now we're going to be whatever. I think Triple H would welcome Jericho back. I just don't know about TKO part of it.
I will say this. Is there anything left for Chris Jericho to go back to WWE? I think when Cena retired and AJ Styles retired, I think that door kind of closed, right? Because I don't want to see Jericho versus CM Punk, to be honest with you. I don't want to see him against Roman Reigns. I don't even want to see him against Gunther. I think Gunther would destroy him.
He's a novelty act.
So it's just like there is the nostalgia and the fact that you did say, hey, he might want to go ahead and help the young roster. That would be cool, you know, because he has done that in the AEW side, kind of like when I name dropped Action Andretti, when he did this guy, the Spanish Gods with
Orange Cassidy. The first when they
Cassidy.
first started, Orange Cassidy was built because of Y2J.
Yeah, so you know, he's been building Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin. He's worked with all those guys, and it would be kind of cool, I guess. You know what? In a way, it kind of would be cool if he made it back and then he kind of put maybe a footprint in the NXT world, because NXT kind of needs the help right now. So maybe that would be something that would be creative for Jericho. But like you said, I think he's accomplished everything. And I think since he built or was one of the pioneers in the AEW side, I think he would focus more on helping that brand more than the WWE brand, because the legacy, he does mention this. His career will be over. WWE is still going to continue. His career will be over, but his name will still live on in AEW. So that's the reason. Another reason why he stayed in AEW. Now, let me ask you this. Obviously, we're 2 weeks away from coming up to All In, and we got some matches. Obviously, we got them all. They're tallying up. You know how AEW works. They usually put like 10,000 matches, which for some of you guys like it, and for some of you guys find it like, oh Lord, this is gonna take forever. But obviously, the matches that we got already confirmed for All In, which is supposed to be the WrestleMania of AEW, is we got AEW World Championship Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay, the Women's World Championship Willow versus Mercedes Moné. We have the Tag Team Championship Cage and Cope versus the Young Bucks. We got the International Championship, where we all of a sudden added another player into the game. So Kyle Fletcher, Tonosuke Takeshita, and now Okada's in it, which I'm excited about that match. That match is going to be fun. You have the TNT Championship, which is Darby versus Kevin Knight in a Falls Count Anywhere. The Women's Tag Team Championship match, the Divine Dominion versus the Brawling Birds. The Casino Royale, which we know officially Andrade is number 1, and now MJF is number 2. So we're going to get those two right at the beginning. We don't know how many more they're going to add, but you know how it is with WWE. The build-up to WWE WrestleMania is always living up to expectation. It's always exciting. Man, can't wait for WrestleMania. My question to you is, does AEW still feel like they've done a really good job building it up? And does it feel like an AEW WrestleMania as we're building this up?
I mean, the main event does, right? It's like Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega. It feels like you're going to be getting the crowning of Ospreay in his hometown. I don't necessarily like that Ospreay keeps getting beat down by the Callis family, and and Omega makes the save, or Omega's getting beat down and Ospreay. I get that there's respect there. I get that, but
Too much respect?
it feels like it's like, oh, you don't know. But I guess it's like, no, I want to beat you at your best, and I want to be, whatever it's going to be. But I do feel like it's a little damning, isn't it, about AEW when you look at, what are we, 6 years in? 2020 was their first show, AEW. They came about, we're 6 years in now almost.
Yeah, I think almost.
And your heavyweight champion match, Kenny Omega. Your tag team championship match, the Young Bucks. You know what I mean? Again, it's like 6 years in and we haven't got to a WrestleMania. And I guess you're going to sit there and go, well, WWE, they still got Roman. They still got Punk. I mean, when you look at that, and again, 6 years you're talking about it, but
actually, like, if you wanna count 2019, 19 was the official January 1st, 2019 was the first time that they officially had a AEW. They actually had the it says announced officially on January 1st, 2019, following the massive success of the independent All-In pay-per-view event in 2018.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay, and then when did they go live on TV? When was the actual first show? Let's say first broadcast. That was their first show, so I'll go off that date.
Okay, so the first broadcast. Let me see if I can find that out. Their first broadcast came out in Double or Nothing. Their first official broadcast from All Elite Wrestling was the inaugural Double or Nothing pay-per-view on May 25th, 2019.
Yeah, that's right. Because 2020 was actually COVID, so they were already in dailies.
And then AEW Dynamite officially premiered on October the 2nd, 2019.
Okay, so again, we're almost nearing 7 years.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say Dan, and it's not Dan, it's just like they're falling back on the nostalgia, it feels like. And again, WWE does the same thing at WrestleMania time as well. You'll have a couple matches where it's like, but it's cool because you do see Willow and Mercedes, which is new. The tag team, women's tag team, I like that. I really like the triple threat. I just, again, it feels like one of those things where it's like, well, we don't have anything for Okada to do.
I just like Okada, bro. I don't know me, but I love Okada.
So we can be like, bitch, or whatever. It just feels like they just want to get that line in or something.
Well, on Wednesday, did you hear him? On Wednesday, he goes and he's like, we just want the title to be in the Don Callis family. And then you see Kyle Fletcher walk away, and then Don Callis and Okada are like high-fiving each other and stuff like that. You're like, that's funny. I really like Okada. I love his work. That's why.
Personality, he adds it. It's just, again, it's like, okay, this is our WrestleMania. Okada's not in a match. Oh, let's throw him in with Takeshita and Fletcher. It'll be good.
It is. It will. It will.
Feels like there's some kind of the Don Callis family can never be a family. There's always the stepbrother that's got to be. It was Takeshita and Okada, and now it's Fletcher and Okada. It's going to be a bang. No, the triple threat's going to be a banger. I agree 100%, Connor.
I can't wait for that match. That match is going to be great, bro. I think that's going to be the stunner of the night.
Again, man, AEW delivers on pay-per-view, bro. I don't care what if you're a WWE stan, if you're against AEW, everything else, they deliver. Are they long? Hell yeah. they're good, man. They're good. And you can say whatever you want to say. When you get to the AEW pay-per-views, you're going to be entertained regardless. Now, one thing I would do because of the MJF Andrade thing that I've been wondering.
The gauntlet that's happening.
The gauntlet match. I wish they wouldn't have made it a casino gauntlet. I wish they would have made it something else. But I guess you want to make it the casino gauntlet because, to me, I would have Andrade with MJF doing all the talk and all this stuff. I would have Andrade beat MJF before you can bring out the first person.
Well, I think the reason they're gonna do the gauntlet is because I'm hoping and I'm praying you're gonna see some new faces out there again.
Oh no, I think you will, but I would to better the storyline to me with the way MJF
Yeah, easy.
is just like, doing the whole thing, and the way he's doing the promo and everything. Like, it's almost gives me the vibes of, and again, I know two different things. The Sheamus Daniel Bryan build up at WrestleMania that was down here, where Daniel Bryan was talking all this talk, and then he gave the kiss on the apron, turned into a brogue kick, and the match was over. And again, it's a casino gauntlet, so you always know that you're going to get like 6, 7 guys, and somebody's debuting. But how different would it be if MJF's talking stuff to the camera, turns around, spinning whatever, Andrade catches him right as the bell rings, 1, 2, 3, and the gauntlet's like done.
Here's
I
my
know
thing.
I know it won't happen, but to me, that would boost so much of the MJF and Andrade a little bit, another up. And you know what? Connor's right. He's like, Sheamus is coming in that gauntlet. How cool would it be if Claudio comes out, right? And the next person is Sheamus? Because that's supposedly the one that's been boosting most for. And again, I don't think that's going to happen. But to me, I feel like the Andrade MJF needs just a little bit of, like, I feel like MJF's putting the kerosene and the gasoline all around it. And Andrade needs to flip the flame and then boom. Because we know they're going to have banger match. It's going to be a great match when it goes. But I feel like there needs to be just a little bit more of the story.
What do you think? What do you think if you get the debut of singles Kofi and
yeah.
Apollo? Yeah, you get them both in there, and then all of a sudden they could do whatever they want after.
This could be the WWE cut gauntlet. You could just run everybody. You know what would be funny? Andrade, MJF, you're 1 and 2. Everybody else was people released by WWE.
Putting Bobby Lashley in there.
Just the crap on him. Yeah, you got Claudio, you Sheamus, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin. You bring in Kofi, Apollo. It's just like
nostalgia all day.
People. There you go.
You get all the people who left WWE. Oh, you got to bring back Malachi Black then if you're gonna do that. Yeah. That's what you got to do. You got to bring him.
Karoon, what's up, man?
Hey, Karoon, we haven't seen you. And again, how do you say Kona?
Karoon.
No, Karoon, and then the guy before was Kona.
Oh, I think it's Conaher or something.
Conaher. But Kona, I don't know if you want us to call you Kona.
Yeah, whatever you want there, man. I appreciate all of you.
Yes, thank you.
Joining us. So we appreciate this. Is an interactive show, so throw in your comments on the chat if you're new, and we'll jump in. We talked WWE at the beginning. If you didn't hear it, you can go catch the rewind. And that is one of the stories that they've kind of been going toward of Mick Foley with cost MJF. I just don't know where they would lead to from that. Because I don't feel like
would be funny.
This is the thing, though, too. To me, and again, this is Sean Stanley. I don't feel like Andrade MJF needs anybody on top of it. I don't.
That's true. You're right about that. But you know that they want to capitalize in making one of them a champion, right? Because I don't think is Andrade still the champion? I think
but I believe MJF took the belt, right? Because MJF had the belt. Is MJF the champion? Or?
No, MJF is just showing up with a belt, right?
Okay, I think he beat down Andrade and took the belt that Andrade had won. I believe is what they're doing.
Yeah, because no, Andrade is still the national champion.
Yeah, MJF's carrying the belt he never lost, right?
Yeah, he's just carrying the. Yeah. Oh, and we could talk about that too, because I don't know if you heard about this, and we'll jump into that because now you reminded me of something that I wanted to talk to you about.
Let's do it. Right.
All right, so I don't know if you heard this, but MJF threw the name out there, the OTC. He threw. Did you hear about this?
Oh no, he's got a shirt.
Yes, he has a shirt.
One true champion.
So a lot of people are kind of going ahead and saying, hey, is this a subliminal shot at the OTC of WWE with Roman Reigns? And is this something good that AEW or MJF is doing? Because if you kind of look at it, Sean, when is MJF's contract up? I'm assuming he probably signed for another 4 or 5 years with AEW.
No, again, it's Eric Bischoff. Controversy creates cash. That's all MJF's doing. I mean, MJF is smart. He's a smart businessman. And I think he's probably pitching it, and Tony Khan's like, okay, we'll go with it. And if we get a cease and desist, then we'll stop. If we don't, then we'll keep it rolling. And I got to think that Tony Khan's got a good legal department to where they probably looked up to see what is trademarked, what isn't, if there's different font, if there's different, ways you can do things. Because everything trademarked is, you can trademark like the font, the design, the whatever. So if you go away from that a little bit, you're not infringing on the thing. Conor says MJF's doing the Punk story. Yeah, I mean, again, it's in wrestling. Nothing's really. It's just putting a 2026 spin on old stories and things like that. But MJF is the guy that could do this, right? Because again, he can create controversy, and you're just like,
I mean,
what is this? Why is he doing this? Who's doing this? And it's perfect for the MJF character.
I just went to AEW shop and they have a shirt that says "Más chingón que tu MJF," which is hilarious because that's what Mexicans usually say, "chingón." So that's a good, and they just came from Mexico City from having that. So that's a very creative thing. Now, here's my thing with MJF and the OTC thing. However long he has that contract with AEW, he's smart in the aspect that that at one point in time, I feel that this is going to be, I don't know, something in me, even though when he signed with AEW again, when he resigned, he said that he was dedicated and he wants to blow AEW up to what it is. But I think money talks, man. MJF is that type of character that's all about the bling, is all about the fancy and all that stuff. And when WWE comes around and his contract is up, I think more money is going to be put into trying to convince him to come to the roster because of the simple fact that he just did this. He did the fact he started something what a lot of people are going to eventually talk about, which is OTC. He's insulting in a way Roman Reigns. And if you start again laying down that first seed and then it starts growing little by little, even though he's in a different wrestling program than the WWE, he is already starting something, and like you just said, controversy sells. All of a sudden, you bring him over to WWE, and he has the OTC shirt, or even their WWE version of OTC, or whatever. That's a hell of a fight. Everybody's gonna be falling for this fight. Everybody's gonna be like, "Holy shit, what's going on here?"
But here's the one thing MJF has to be careful of, and this is what we talked about at the beginning of the show. He has to do this while still not burning necessarily the AEW bridge.
Do you think he cares at this point in time?
Yeah, but again, why is TKO doing what they're doing? To make the leverage go away. If AEW doesn't want MJF, why does WWE need to pay for MJF?
Because he's signed, isn't he? Unless they release him. But even if they release him...
I'm saying when his contract is up, if he burns this bridge with AEW, there's no leverage. WWE could be like, I'm going to sign you for this, and you want to wrestle, or are you going to go to the indies again? Because you burned the bridge with AEW.
That's a good point.
If he's working this as himself, I believe AEW is fully in the back seat with him. I believe Tony Khan is like, let's work this, let's see what it goes. Because again, if he's not burning this bridge and this product is selling and MJF's doing all this, why doesn't Tony Khan just pay him the big money? If he's delivering to AEW, again, now it's more of a leverage too for MJF. Well, Tony's going to give me all this. If you guys want me, I need this. And he's got it because Tony's going to pay. If all the OTC merchandise is selling, if MJF is doing this, MJF's doing that, this is all just MJF building up. And I think MJF would end up being a mid-carder in WWE. But if he came in like this, you could bring him straight in to take on Roman, and then Roman take care of him because he's from AEW. AEW can't stand up to WWE, and then MJF gets the money, gets sent to mid-card, and then gets cut 90 days later and has nowhere to go.
All right, so I went on Wrestling News right now, right? And one of the things they said here, it says, MJF is done with the fake OTC shirt drama. And he made that crystal clear after the person who created the phony merchandise image issued a full statement explaining what happened. The AEW star saw the
Damn
apology.
it. They should have kept that story going, bro.
But
I
hold
would've kept
on,
that
hold
going.
on. Check this out. Hold on. This is why I bring this up. It says the AEW star saw the apology, saw how seriously people were taking the whole thing, and basically told everyone involved to get off their phones. He basically went and said he said the mess started after MJF began calling himself the one true champion on AEW Dynamite. Fans quickly shortened that to the OTC, which immediately sparked the comparisons to Roman Reigns. Then somebody created a fake piece of MJF merchandise using the OTC brand. Uh, MJF responded by saying literally fake F off, right? But check this out. Later on, it says MJF eventually saw the statement and he clearly couldn't believe things had gotten this far. Then came the line that pretty much ended the whole thing. It says, "Oh my God, the fact that this poor person had to put out a statement literally is insane. Everyone, put your effing phones down and go touch grass. The one true champion has spoken." So even though he says that, even though he corrected that guy for saying that, he's not stupid. He noticed that this could bring eyes and a lot of and bring controversy. And we were just speaking about this. This is controversy, and by him now, I hope he does this. I hope he continues to say he's the one true champion, and I hope. Well, obviously, I don't know if they must have a trademark on OTC because that's probably why it was a fake by a fan. But man, if he could get away and twist something around, even put it CTO or something. I don't know, do something with
Just
it.
the character-wise, just the fact that he did that enhanced everything.
Kona's saying that MJF could be a mid-carder in WWE. He's short, small for WWE, honestly, and plus he won't be full mic on WWE. No, man, you can't say that because look, there's been superstars that
I
have
can
been.
tell you exactly what would happen, man, with that. Yeah, and I think he's right. I think what they would do is they would offer him big money. They would bring him in. He would job out to Roman Reigns. They would push him down to mid-card status, and they would release him, and then he'd have 90 days to pay. And again, I look at this because I go to MVP, what he said. He said, think about this with wrestling and TKO. And this is one thing, and I forgot about it. I wrote it down, and I just saw it. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Okay.
He goes, in WWE, you have to make a 2 to 5 year commitment to WWE, to TKO, when you sign a contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how long their commitment is to you?
0.
90 days.
There.
90 days is all they owe you. Think about that.
It's always
When
been
you're
like
doing
that,
a
right?
contract, you owe them 2 to 5 years, depending on what contract you sign. They owe you 90 days.
Grimy. But that's always been like that, right? Even with Vince.
Oh no, it's always been that way. Yeah. You get your 90 days. You get paid the downside of your 90 days. So you're not even gonna make, if you sign for $5 million and your downside's 300,000, you're gonna make the 300,000 for 3 months, whatever that equates to, the prorated.
I mean, but look,
But again, that's the problem with signing a contract. And when we talk about MJF going for big money, yeah, you might get the big money. I don't mean you're gonna see all that money.
unless you get a guarantee. Are there guarantees in some of those WWE
I don't
contracts?
think there's any guarantees in any of that money.
Like if I was somebody needs to come up with guarantees. Because then look at Tua. Tua's been able to guarantee, and look how crappy he looked against the Atlanta Falcons. So
Yeah, but also he signed 212 or whatever and only 130. I mean, it's still I get it, it's 130, but I mean these guys are signing 5 years for, $5 million a year, less than that probably. So how much of that would you guarantee? 1.2?
I'll take I'll take $100 grand.
Look, I would take,
That's what I would do.
100,000. I mean, I'm saying,
Yeah.
I know what we would do, but again, those guys, like, where is the, again, you work the deal with, okay, I think that the going rate now is 20%, 25% of your merchandise. Some people get more. You can work that. There's days off. Now I don't know if that's as much a factor as used to be because there's not really house shows. There's other things in the contract that you work for to get, that you can negotiate. But I don't know. Again, it's one of those things to where it's like TKO could just be like, no, we're not going to give you a fully guaranteed contract, or we're not going to do that. I mean, It's very, and again, I don't know how Tony Khan's contracts go because they haven't really released anybody. They just not renewed contracts when they're up. And also that's what WWE is doing too. Like who is it? Somebody's contract actually ends in, or no, it was Sheamus. I'm sorry. It was supposed to end in September, so he was going to stay at home until the contract ended. But they released him before, so then he gets 90 days or something.
But in a way, I understand that
Or
contract.
maybe I read that wrong. Maybe Sheamus won't be at All In. I think he's at home until his contract ends in September, and then his 90 days begins. And I may be wrong on this. I remember seeing a story. There's somebody to where they were just told their contract will not be renewed, and it ends, I believe, in September. I want to say it was Sheamus, but it might be off. I may be off.
If WWE did do that with Sheamus, where they're like, hey, we're just gonna keep him until he becomes a free agent, then or his 90 days until his contract expires, and then you have to put in 90 days. It would definitely be for them not to have him debut in All In, because I'm pretty sure Sheamus would be immediately picked up by AEW.
Oh, no, yeah.
In my
And it might have
opinion.
been, I can't remember, now you said Malachi Black too. It might have been him because I know Zelina Vega was different than what he was or something. I think he was just told they're not renewing. And I think he signed like a,
I looked it up right now, and it says free agent date. His current WWE contract obligations legally keep him bond until October 1st, 2026. He cannot officially debut or
That-
sign elsewhere until that date passes.
who's that, Sheamus?
Sheamus, yeah.
Yeah, so then it was Sheamus that ends in September. It's like September 1st, or September, the last day of September was his contract date, which makes October.
October
is-
October the 1st.
Yeah.
So then
Yeah,
here,
but I believe if your contract ends, though, there's no 90 days. So I believe he could show up the next day. The 90 days is if you get released, I believe. That's how that works. If your contract just expires, you can show up as soon as your contract ends.
now here's something as well. I can understand the contract of the 90 days because it's kind of like when I don't know about there's most companies do this where like you work for them for quite some time and then you get like to a very high level in the company and then they want to go ahead and give you kind of like a severance package. That way you do not go ahead and decide to go to the competition right away. And they usually give you what? Like maybe they'll give you maybe 3 to 6 months or something like that. So I could understand where the 90 days is. And I don't knock WWE or any company for doing that because
You know who started that? Why it started, right?
No, who? And why?
Lex Luger. And Rick Rude did it both times. Lex Luger wrestled at a pay-per-view and then showed up on a Nitro the next night.
Didn't Bret Hart do the same thing too?
No, well, Bret Hart was a whole different subject there.
Okay. I thought it was Bret Hart. Bret Hart was the other one, right?
And then Rick Rude was actually on the Raw and Nitro the same night because they recorded Raw and he debuted live on Nitro. He was on both shows.
Wow. Crazy. Let me ask you this. We got these confirmed matches. Obviously, we're excited. Obviously, Kenny and Will is pretty good. Willow and Mercedes is pretty good. The tag team championship, the Young Bucks and Cape and Cage and Cope is kind of like a
5 years too late, but yeah.
like a nostalgia type of match. The most excited one, like we spoke about, Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita and Okada.
Show stealer, probably.
Kevin Knight and Darby, pretty good match. They're doing Falls Count Anywhere, so it should be like everywhere going on. The women's tag team, good way for them to go ahead and promote the Brawling Birds and the Divine
I
Dominion.
like that those four women are going to fight each other. That's good. I like those.
Hey, remember, they're pushing the
powerhouses in the women division, and it's going to be good.
they're obviously pushing the Brawling Birds too, is because Alan Windsor is
Yeah, Will Ospreay's.
Will Ospreay's wife. And then you got the men's casino gauntlet, which we expect to see some probably ex WWE wrestlers going in there as well.
Yeah.
What do you think about them adding a women's casino gauntlet? I know last time they had one and they almost lost the whole women's gauntlet, like the whole women's
everybody was
roster.
injured. I don't know. I mean, everybody got injured in that one, but dude, I wouldn't be. I mean, again, you know how Tony likes to do. There's going to be something to where they get the women's side on there somehow.
If you bring Malachi Black, you got to bring Zelina, bro. And I think Zelina could still hang. And I think Zelina would be good for the women's
I
roster.
think Zelina would be good in AEW. Her style is probably more geared toward AEW than it is WWE.
Yeah, especially now in her career, she's much older and stuff. I think she has a lot of potential over there.
Yeah,
I
and I
thought,
think she'd be good to with some of those women just to help them along and stuff because she's, again, she's sat through promo classes, she sat through all this stuff, to where she'd be a good person to have back there leading somewhat and helping out some of those women that are, again, the same thing with Mercedes. I mean, it's that when you have the people that have been there and they can give you a little bit of idea of what it is to be there and what it takes to get there and to stay there, I think that's invaluable.
and remember, there is rumors that Bailey might leave WWE, which probably is gonna happen because of how much they're bringing up these women. Like it's crazy how they.
Yeah, but I don't. The only reason I say I don't know is because I don't know where Bailey's at right now outside of wrestling, because TKO and WWE have been so instrumental in her doing her the lodestone thing that she's doing. Like they've given her the buildings, they've done a lot of stuff for her. And don't get me wrong, WWE's gotten prospects out of it too. It's not like it's just like they're doing it out of the kindness of their heart. I get what the thing is, and again, maybe Tony would just be like, "Hey, I can do that too." But I just don't know where she's at with. Again, is she at where the Jericho? Like I've done everything I can do in WWE. Let me go lay and work with Mercedes over in AEW, or is she saying, I've done everything I want to do in my wrestling career, so I'm just going to stay here and finish? That's going to be the part she's going to have to figure out. And I believe her contract's up in October, November, somewhere around there at the end of this year. So that decision's coming more and more closer to being had.
I looked it up. It looks like her contract is up in January of next year.
So then she got the full year. Okay.
Yeah, so we should find some.
Yeah, but you'll know beforehand. She's going to lean toward, and again, I look at the way that she's being handled on WWE TV, and it's kind of like, I feel like either they know she's leaving or she's already told them I'm staying. Either way, because it's not like they're giving her a push. So
Well, think about it. If her contract is up in January, that means
they're using her,
September,
but they're not
October,
pushing.
November, December, January. Literally, you'll be sitting here for 5 months without
Maybe
using
did
her.
today, but they've been having her on TV. But she's been pushing the other talent. So, and the Bailey Lyra thing is going to be a thing. So
No, that was the end of it. I haven't seen. Didn't you see Lyra on Monday? Lyra was she was coming at who was it? She came up to so Ruka.
yeah, no, but I don't mean that it's over for Bailey yet. I don't think so.
I think it's over for her, bro.
I don't know.
I think for her, it's time for her to move on. I think they've done her dirty.
I don't know, but again, it just depends on what she feels she has left. Like, is she just going to give back, or does she think she can? She has something to prove. That's going to be. I think that's if she's just going to give back, she'll probably stay and take less money and just stay with WWE. If she wants to keep going and everything else, then I think she moves on and teams up with Mercedes and does some things. And I think ultimately in the end, I feel, again, with everything, I still feel like she wants to do something with Mercedes. So I would lean toward probably the AEW. But again, I've seen other things happen to where it's like they're leaning one way and then it changes. So we'll see.
Not only that, but I also feel that there's a lot of people who like Bailey outside of the states, and you know how AEW
yeah.
likes to go out more than WWE. Um, Even though now WWE is kind of doing the same thing because they're going to like Mexico City as well and all that stuff, so it's kind of like
Oh,
interesting.
because it's AAA and everything now.
Yeah.
All those.
But in a way,
working arrangements.
I think it would be cool for Bailey to leave, just like kind of like what Christian when Adam Cole. Adam Cole. I'm having a brain fart here. Copeland, when Copeland left, because he eventually had done everything, and he was like, you know what, I want to try something different. I want to go work with Christian, and I want to go ahead and do our own thing. And obviously, he's not as big in the
Yeah, but he's
AEW
not trying
side.
to be. He's just trying to ride
Yeah.
off into the sunset.
Exactly.
He's
So
having fun hanging with Christian. They're going to get a match against the Bucks,
yeah,
and that's all. That's all they're worried about. That's all. Again, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if that's where Bailey's at. I mean, that's just sign for whatever and ride off in the sunset with Mercedes, whatever it's going to be. I don't know. I don't know.
The thing is that I don't know if they see Bailey to the likes of like a John Cena or like an AJ Styles where they want to keep him until the end until they decide to retire with WWE. I don't know if they like. I don't know if they see Bailey
But
like
also,
that.
I think Cena and AJ Styles made that decision too. That I mean, it wasn't just like I think Styles was like, you know what, I'm done. I don't need to go anywhere else and prove anything. I've done it, and again, but they also had the old style thinking, which was WWE is end all be all in a way. And look how long it took AJ to get there.
That was his. That was his.
That's a
kind
lot of
like,
people's
think-
targets back in the day. Was I remember when we again when I was wrestling, there was only one person that I remember that did not have that aspiration, and that was MVP. His aspiration was to go to Japan. That
Wow.
was all. That's what he wanted to do.
Really?
He actually got to WWE before he got to Japan, and he used WWE to get to Japan, which is why he left the first time because Japan came calling. So
Well, not a lot of people want to jump the ship from the states to Japan too. That's crazy. That's a tough change of lifestyle too. So
yeah, but I mean, you're treated like a king over there most of
Yeah.
the time.
yeah, yeah.
Especially back in the day, and maybe now not as much because it is what. But I mean, back in the day, I mean, those guys. If you were an American, you went over there. I mean, usually it was the heels though. It was Stan Hansen. It was Bruiser Brody. Those guys just ran. I mean, I remember there's an infamous picture. I think it was Pro Wrestling Illustrated or one of those wrestling magazines. It's Stan Hansen and Brody. They're walking on one side of the street, and everybody else is on the other side because they were scared of them. And there's also pictures of them going in the crowd, and you see the crowd just scattering like they're monsters. Like
Oh wow.
like they're the true Godzilla coming after the town back in the day. I mean, that's what wrestling was over there, and it's a changing over there too. Some of it's changed a little bit, but they used to sit on their hands basically. Like there was no like you do a big move and you just get ohs. There was no like round of applause and holy shit chants and all that. It's a different things. Now they get a little bit more, a little more applause and things going like that, but it's completely different than what you see. Like WWE has their fans conditioned, so when they go to Japan, it's different. But if you go to a normal NJ, New Japan Pro Wrestling or any of those over there, IGPW, they're different. It's a different style of crowd.
Did you ever wish going over there?
Oh, I would have loved to at least once to get over there. I mean, I would have. I know a couple guys went over there and worked out in some of the dojos, and when you first go over there and you're young, you go to the dojos and you work in the dojos and you clean the dojos, and it's a wrestling over there is by the time you get up into shows, you've done something, you've made a name. And again, I don't know how much of that tradition stays or how much has gone now, but it when you debuted, that was a big thing. That was a big. Again, if you make your name here and you go over there, that's different. But if you go through the dojos and you go in and out, it's something when you actually get up to make a debut and you've done all that.
Wow. Cool. And then Kona just finished saying Bailey contract is done in October, but if WWE adds injury time, then it will be in January. So that kind of clarifies it.
And that'll
Thanks for looking
probably
that up.
that'll let you know her decision too.
Oh yeah.
Because if WWE adds injury time, then more than likely she's leaving anyways. Because you're not adding injury time, she's going to extend. Because it's just going to be a new contract.
I just hope that if she does decide to go to AEW, that they don't burn her, that they don't forget about her, because I still think she can hang.
You know what's going? I don't know if that'll happen. I just don't know. All In will be a good test because if Mercedes wins the championship, then does Bailey come in to be the sidekick? Does she come in to be a challenger?
I mean, who else can challenge Mercedes Moné if it isn't Tony Storm coming back?
I mean, that's going to be the thing. It's going to be. But then what happens after Bailey finishes that run with Mercedes if she's the challenger? She falls off the cliff.
Unless she finds a way to work some of these girls,
I mean, she could have some great matches with some of them. But again,
there's some
Again, man,
decent
we
girls.
watch how this happens.
Yeah, that's the
You've
only bad
seen
part.
everybody that's been signed by WWE comes in balls of fire, and then they kind of fade a little bit. Not
you-
saying that they don't come back up, but it's come in boots a blazing, and then the smoke fades away.
Well, look at Ciampa, right?
Yeah.
Ciampa, I'm pretty sure they'll probably include him in that gauntlet if there's no match for him. But again, guns blazing, and then all of a sudden, he simmered down. Now he's going down again. So it's like, you get some guys out there that do really well, and then they just disappear off the map, which kind of sucks. Even though Mike Bailey, not a WWE guy, TNA guy, has held his own. He's done a pretty good job. He's one of the rare ones. But he wasn't WWE. He was TNA that came.
No,
came
that's what I'm saying though. Is like they find things for him to do.
Yeah.
They don't look to find things for the WWE guys to do. It feels like they go off their name and then they just fade away. That's it.
Yeah, because look, Samoa Joe came. He's had his moments. Even though Samoa was well established outside of WWE before him.
No, but he pops up when he comes back, but then he goes and does. He's got other stuff going on outside that. I mean, great. It's great AEW's there, but he doesn't need them anymore. I mean, he's got the show. He's got the other stuff. I mean,
it's crazy how many women they have on the women's roster, and they don't showcase any of this women. They only stick to like.
I told you, Harley Cameron's been on Boca Raton Championship Wrestling more times than she's been on AEW TV.
Yes,
So-
yes, it's crazy. With so much talent in women's division over there, and they do not use anybody.
And
Look,
what's funny is AEW used to be the women's like active women's was like they were a whole roster. The women were better than the men at one point. Remember in AEW, the women were holding their own on this roster. You had Britt Baker, you had Tony, you had
Thunder
Ryan
Rosa.
Ray at the time. You had Willow was good at that time.
Thunder Rosa.
Ruby Riot. You had Soraya came in for a little while, and during that time, I mean, you had a good little roster, and they bolstered that roster and they showcased it. Whereas this one, I feel like this roster might be better with Megan Bayne and some of those, but they keep Megan Bayne in this tag team. Like I don't know why. I guess also though, she's one of those attractions to me. Like if you put her in there. She looks like she should be able to handle it, although I know that she's lost to a lot. That stuff never makes sense to me, bro. But
Well,
I
think
know
about
she's-
it. There was Tekla. We haven't seen Tekla since she
But again,
lost to Willow.
we say this too about AEW, right? They don't know how to handle the big guys. They don't know how to handle the attractions because it's just like it's odd for them. Look at every guy that's been there. I mean, you got Lance Archer, who's basically he goes out and he kills 3 guys, indie guys, to set up for him to lose to Kevin Knight or something.
Yeah,
Like that's what they do with those guys.
Brian Cage.
I mean,
Yeah.
you got all these guys that are
I like that.
there's like big guys that look like larger than life, and it's just
It just doesn't work out for them over there. Even though I will say, this guy, the guy from the Don Callis, what is his name? That he's a big dude.
Mark Davis or
Mark Davis. Mark Davis. He's done a pretty good job of staying relevant. What happened to this guy that he got hurt and I haven't seen him again? Damn it, what is his name? Buddy Matthews. What happened to him?
Oh, apparently he's been cleared. I don't know when he's coming back though.
Oh, maybe he'll come in that gauntlet match.
Maybe that's
That'd be a
what they're
pretty
waiting
cool
for.
way to bring him back if he's back to being healthy.
Yeah.
Because I haven't
But
seen him in a
yeah,
while.
he got cleared right as Rhea got injured, so I don't know if he's taking more time to help out her or what.
Yeah, and then look, and Brody King is another one that kind of has held his own
Yeah,
now
yeah.
that as a big dude. But besides them, because look, even Bobby Lashley, he's a big dude.
Well,
and-
he got hurt, but I mean, yeah, again, well, they weren't doing much with them. Sorry.
Oh, I'm saying you're tired. We're not
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about we're not talking about the Mortar Machine Gun, so don't fall asleep on me. Even though they're in AEW now,
They're back though. They're back. That's the tag team division.
they
Bolstering
are.
that tag team division. Now you're bringing in Kofi and Creed. I mean, that should be the name of the tag team right there. Kofi and Creed. I mean, if that don't say video games, I don't know what does, man. Kofi and Creed.
Kofi and Creed. Hey, whatever happened to Billy Gunn? What happened to freaking
Billy
the
Gunn did his thing. He got his sons in there. His sons took off, and we're good. He's out with Road Dogg now, cruising the streets.
hologram. What happened to hologram?
A hologram was just that. Now he got hurt, right? Because El Clone was brought in to do with him, and then hologram got hurt that night, and they had to do something with El Clone.
I mean, look. I mean, some of the big guys, Josh Alexander, the Beast Mortos. He broke up with Mercedes.
Mortos, we know what the issue with.
He broke up with Mercedes, and it was done.
Dummy.
He was done.
Whatever happened there? You ruined your career, buddy.
Luchasaurus is always up and down.
Back to lawyering.
It's just, there's a lot of guys out there that just they don't know how to work them. I mean, Max Caster, what happened to him? It's so bad. We always talk about this. I always bring this up. I'm like, when was the last time we saw Ortiz? Is he still even signed with AEW?
You should have known Ring of Honor, man. Because sometimes I'll bring up Ring of Honor, and like they've got videos, and I'm like, dude, we were just talking about where's that guy been, and there he is.
Yeah, it's like Roosh. Roosh is another one that just comes out of the blue, and then he'll leave, and then he'll come back. It's just so random. It's just, I'm pretty sure. I think I've seen the Sean Taylor group in Ring of Honor too.
Shane Taylor. Shane Taylor was a great safety. That's way too soon.
Shane Taylor, my fault. You're right about that. Shane Taylor, but I mean, that's AEW for you. And Warlow, don't forget about our boy Warlow. Yeah. Whatever happened to that guy?
Gladiators and stuff. No, he's with the Miz. The Mike. I'm sorry, the Mike.
What is wrong with that? That guy has so much potential, and man, they just ruined it. And now not even WWE talks about him, so it sucks. But I think we covered everything. Unless you want to talk about
that's it, man.
Else.
Let them know where they can get you, Mr. Frank.
All right, you guys can follow me at Frankie Fresco on my YouTube channel, and you can follow me at Fresco Music on all social media platforms. I will be again promoting the DJ battle hopefully this week. We're 10 days away, so it's not this upcoming Tuesday, but it's the following Tuesday. Your boy Frankie Fresco will be competing at the DJ battle. Spin for a cause. Thank you, sir. It kind of sucks because it blocks Sean out of the screen, and I know you guys love seeing Sean more than you love seeing me. But yes, August the 25th, I will be there. There's live entertainment. There's going to be food, raffles, and obviously the DJ battle. If you want to come and support me, you're more than welcome to. I am always grateful for anybody who comes out and shows me any love. And again, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to be doing my best. They were promoting it in Power 96. I know a couple of the DJs who are competing. One of the DJs competing, I think, works for Power 96, so he will be there as well. So we'll see how it goes. But your boy's going to try to win this. He's going to go for the victory, sir. OTC here, baby. OTC.
I will be there supporting, by the way. I will be there.
All right.
September 27th. I'll be there for the beginning.
You mean August 25th?
August 25th, whatever it is. Whatever the date is on this. Hold on a minute.
I don't know how you said December 27th, bro.
Let me see. I said September 27th.
Oh, you said September 27th?
Yeah, August 25th, I'll be there at 7 is what I meant to say.
No, what? I mean, you could be there September 27th. Yeah. I won't be there, but you could be there. I mean, I don't know what.
I will be there. Spin for a Cause. I'm trying to look at the screen now to make sure I got it right. The 6th annual Spin for a Cause DJ battle with the great Frankie Fresco. And Frankie Fresco will take home the coveted piece of vinyl.
I've won many championships.
What is the award for the championship?
They give you like a plaque, like a huge plaque.
Nice.
Like a real cool plaque.
Now, I won't be there for the whole thing, but I'm gonna try to get there. Be there from like 7 till like 7:30, and then I have to go to work. I think that's Thursday. What is that? Thursday or Friday?
It's a Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I mean, you got the date wrong. You got the day wrong. I mean, it's okay. If I don't see you, we'll be fine.
I'm gonna be there.
Okay, I appreciate it. I even if you don't show up, I still love the support. So yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
Tuesday, August 25th. They should put Tuesday on there, man. I don't like when they put just the date. It throws me off. I'm not good at dates. No, but I'll be there Tuesdays. Tuesday at 7 o'clock. If you want to see me, get there before 7:30 because I'll probably be gone. The only reason I say that is because my day starts at 9 and I have to drive a company vehicle, so I have to drive from Wilton Manors back to Miami.
Jesus.
To get in a vehicle.
Can't take the day off, huh? Never mind.
Yeah, no, man, I can't, dude. I don't have enough PTO time yet. Still young, still young career in the industry here.
Gotcha.
You can check me out at SS_Sports Talk. I am at Stanley Media House everywhere else. Of course, make sure you go to the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel, hit the subscribe, hit the notifications, hit the Frankie Fresco YouTube channel. Miami Dolphins season has started. Make sure you check us out.
Super Bowl. In the great voice of TD Finstock, Super Bowl, baby. Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
It's more like
We look
Emotional damage.
no. We look good.
that's what the Dolphins season is.
We look good at the beginning. First stringers.
Oh,
Just
no,
can't get
first
hurt.
thing, yeah, if anybody gets hurt, we're done. I mean,
Yeah, we are.
it's not good after that, bro. Not good after
But
that.
I'll ask you this: when has every single starter gotten hurt in a team like at the same time? Never happens.
You know,
You
it
always
doesn't,
lose one or
but
two.
again, if any of our key guys get hurt, like if Malik gets hurt for one game, you think those guys are coming in to win a game?
How many times does the
Like
quarterback
usually
get
you look
hurt?
at your backup quarterback and go, okay, we can probably win 1 to 2 games, but he's not going to do anything for a season. But you probably win 1 to 2 games. Nothing I saw out of either one of those guys said they could win a little league football game.
Okay, true, but I feel like you guys are jumping the gun, thinking that Malik is like Tua, that he's prone to get injured, and I don't think Malik is that dumb.
He's not prone to getting injured, but he does run where he's going to get hit. He's
Well,
going to get hit.
did you see him slide? Something that
He
Tua never did.
But also last year he played in 2 games and then he missed 2 games with Green Bay. So he got injured in the 2 games that he played.
Okay, unless it's a serious injury, usually you see a quarterback lose. Maybe if he can't last the whole season, you at least see him miss out maybe like 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, but the problem with the running quarterbacks, Frankie, is it doesn't get to just arms and everything else.
He's
it
not
is-
a running quarterback.
No, he uses his legs.
He does, but he's not you cannot compare him to like the likes of a Lamar Jackson. That's not his forte. He uses his legs to get out of trouble.
Yeah, but if he
And
can't
then
use
throw
his legs and he's just sitting back there sitting duck, he's not a pocket quarterback. either.
Correct, but he's not gonna look. You saw the
He has
difference
hands,
between Clinton
he's-
Ewers and
he's
him.
gonna- Why are we talking football?
Because we're too
Why
intense
are you
with.
doing this, my man?
You should have had me. You should have me on the Talking Sports one day as a guest, and I would tell you guys and give you my opinion on the Dolphins because I do feel that the Dolphins have potential. And you guys are all just jumping the gun saying he's gonna get hurt. I don't think he's gonna get hurt.
I think they've got potential. I just don't think they got the horses yet to be
Correct.
involved in anything yet. Man. They don't. All
I
it
think
takes is one nick, and we're gonna be knack. That's what's gonna happen.
We're talking football in the wrestling show. Sorry, guys. That's just how intense we are with the
The
Dolphins.
numbers,
We love
the
them.
numbers have dropped more than AEW talk. Just kidding. We can't get any lower than the AEW talk gets.
Nah,
In the
we love
words
AEW. We love AEW.
of the great Gordon Soley, yes, we do. So long from the sun, shine, state.
The squad circle